Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another live stream. It has been so long since I've said that. I feel a little bit nervous. I say this every season. When I first start up the live streams again, there's something different about live streaming versus recording a video. Obviously, when I record a video, there are multiple takes. There are no issues with the internet. If my camera freezes, I simply cut. So all of the issues associated with a live stream don't really exist with a video. But you guys know this is my favorite part of the week. So I've missed it. I love it. And I'm so glad to be back. And let me know where you're tuning in from and let me know what you're doing right now. I would love to know. But today's going to be a big one. We're obviously starting nice and early because I want to answer as many of your questions as possible. Also lock in my own team as well. I wouldn't say I'm unsure of my team. 99% of it is pretty much there. There is just like one spot that I'm a bit unsure on, and that might cause one of the bench positions to change. So there won't be too much of me worrying about my team. It should be mostly me helping you guys out. So yeah, let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know what you're doing right now. And let me know how close you are as well in the chat to locking in your team. There seems to be like some people that are super confident they've been on the same team for like 3 days. And there also appear to be some people that are still have absolutely no idea what they're doing. It's so good to see everyone's names back in the chat. I've missed you all very much. Frosty's here. I'm in the UK watching your stream. I'm sure you are. Hope you are well, Mr. Frosty. You've got loads of members at the moment. Zodiac, been to the gym. I'm not going to read out the rest of your message, Zodiac, but thank you for providing me that information. Shazam says, damn good to see you back, Egg. Let's jump into this. I love you. Shazam, you are absolutely fantastic. And thank you for being here. We've got Lukey Boy, as always, as well. Anson, live from Kenya. Hello, Egg. Hello. Good to see you. Hello, Uncle. Please say hi back. Hello. Good to see you. Sean in the chat. Good to see you, Sean. I haven't seen you for a while. Pack the Hammer. Lovely to see so many of you. I'm just going to jump into showing you my team straight away, and we can just start answering your questions because there is no time like the present. So, this is where I'm at. Now, I am set on no Haaland. Again, not for views, not for clicks, not because I want to be different, just because I like the squad that I can build without him. So I'm set on Salah, no Haaland at the moment, unless for some reason in the next couple of hours, Salah looks like he might be out for game week 1 for whatever reason. But as of right now, it's like this. This team actually has 0.5 million in the bank. That isn't deliberate. It's just when I built the team, it had Gvardiol in. And since then, I have replaced Gvardiol with Porro. I'm unsure on this one. Maybe I'm just getting last minute jitters and I'll change my mind on this. But no Rodri, no Foden, no Walker, probably for game week 1. Will Walker and Foden be back for game week 2? Maybe. Rodri hasn't even been in a single training session, so maybe not. So not only are they defensively weaker, but it could be that Rico Lewis continues to start at right back, in which case Gvardiol isn't as attacking. And I'm just a little bit hesitant on City defence to start the season. They always tend to start the season a little bit slowly. And I guess if I'm going without Haaland, I could just go without City altogether and just absolutely go for it. So that's kind of where I stand at the moment. That's the team. Like I said, it's got 0.5 in the bank as well. So if I wanted a little bit more bench cover, I could do Greaves to Davis, or I could do Greaves to Ola Aina, who I've had in there a couple of times. Or I could just go back to Gvardiol. I would love to know what you think of sort of Gvardiol versus Pedro Porro. Obviously, with the 0.5 being taken into account. I have absolutely no issues, by the way, with just starting the season with 0.5, because that can be incredibly useful in the opening game week. So as of right now, I'm relatively happy with the team. I know other people won't be, but that is absolutely fine. Yes, do you know what? Let's run a captaincy poll absolutely straight away, and I'll get on to answering your questions. So, who are you captaining in game week 1? It kind of feels like if you've got Salah, you probably go Salah, and if you don't, you go Isak. Seems to be the way that it's looking at the moment. So Salah against Ipswich. We've got Isak. I guess Isak has got a home fixture. To be honest, I'm not like 100% on Salah captain, but I'd say I'm like 70%. I could be convinced to go for Isak, potentially. Haaland against Chelsea, and then I'll just do other, potentially. I know a lot of people are looking like Heung-min Son. If you own Son, I certainly don't mind that as an option at all. Okay, other comment. There you go. The first poll of the live streams. It's fantastic. I've missed this so much. Right, let me answer some of your questions. We are absolutely back. Don't you worry about that. Start 2 of ESR, Minta, and Nkunku. Or Minte, not Mini Minta. I would start Minte. Maybe this is I'd want Nkunku to start now because they've still got a lot of their players missing, in particular Rodri and Walker. I would probably start Minte and Nkunku and bench Smith Rowe. but I'm not 100% sure on that one. Good luck this season. May your captain choices be wiser than your last-minute transfers. Congrats on the Man United partnership too. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. We'll be talking about Manchester United a little bit later, but thank you, Darsho. I appreciate you very much. And yeah, hopefully we get the captaincy right this year. In previous seasons, my captaincy decisions have been absolutely bang on. And then in recent, like maybe the last season and a half, I've struggled a little bit more with captaincy, but I think there is a large element of luck because I don't think I've suddenly changed the way that I play FPL. You just got to get on the right side of variance with captaincy. Like if Haaland has a quiet game in game week 2, and I know people say, well, he's not going to, he's playing Ipswich. Salah's playing Ipswich in game week 1, right? So Haaland could have a quiet game and only get 1 goal or 1 goal and 1 assist. If he's a little bit quiet in game week 2 and doesn't absolutely tear it up, then I'm pretty confident with this strategy that I'm going for. Anish has become a Rap Tier 2 member. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Manuel says, Son and Wood or Bruno and Solanke, can't decide. My initial thought when I looked at that was Bruno and Solanke. But with Son... that's a very tough one. My personal preference is Bruno and Solanke. But I think Son and Wood is an absolutely fantastic combination between the two. And I like that a lot. OP Talent says, Hall and Solanke or Gvardiol and Armstrong/JP. Oh, initial thought there is probably Hall and Solanke. Just about, mainly because I don't really like Armstrong and JP. If the option was like Gvardiol and Moniz or Gvardiol and Wood, I probably would have gone for the latter. I've gone off those 5.5 forwards slightly myself. Plan to pick Gibbs White for now and change to Nkunku next week based on his time and play versus City. Is that a good move? Not really, no. I don't think so, because you're booking in a transfer that you most likely want to make. And is Gibbs White against Bournemouth at home that much better than Nkunku against City at home? I mean, I'd prefer to have Gibbs White in game week 1, but is it worth the transfer? I'm not so sure. Adam Armstrong, I think, is a fine option. Probably my favourite 5.5 now. And Hall, I've gone off Hall personally, just because Newcastle look absolutely set on trying to get Gay. And if they do that, then unfortunately, Burn and Kelly can't play at left centre-back. It'll be Botman right centre-back, Gay left centre-back, which therefore means you've got Kelly, Burn and Hall that can all play left-back. And we know how much Eddie Howe loves Burn as well. So I would be a little bit hesitant on Hall now myself. Ahmad or Rodgers to start? Definitely Rodgers. I think both will start in game week 1, but I think moving forward, Ahmad's minutes now are a little bit less secure, just due to how many players Man United have for those sort of 2 wing spots. Would you recommend Dalot covers right back as well as left back? I mean, if you want a United defender that starts, Dalot's the one. Dalot will start every single game and he's got some attacking threat. I just wouldn't spend 5 million on a Man United defender right now, personally. Flapjack, good to see you. He says, hi Ross, do you think I should go with Armstrong Pedro with 0.5 in the bank or Wood with nothing? I much prefer Wood and Moniz to Armstrong and João Pedro. So for me, I would go for the 2 6 millions and accept that you don't have anything at the bank. That's just my personal preference. Dave Jones says, apart from the obvious, is this team good to go? Pickford, Trent, Quansah, Hall, Palmer, Saka, Son, Jota, Nkunku, Isak, Solanke, Gvardiol on the bench. That's a beautiful team. Yeah, I don't see a single issue with that team. Got nice bench cover. I mean, I would be a little bit hesitant on Hall, as I said, but I wouldn't necessarily want that to put you off. I would be absolutely happy going into game week 1 with that team. Hi, Ross. Is Luis Diaz a good differential over Jota? There are rumours going around that he could be leaving Liverpool, and I just worry that Gakpo is that good, and Gakpo has said himself that he sees Slot playing him as more of a left-sided player. I think Diaz's minutes will be less secure than people are suggesting, especially if these rumours keep bubbling over about him possibly leaving. So I prefer Jota, but I would expect Luis Diaz to start in game week 1 at the very least, so maybe he might be a nice differential, absolutely. Solanke, Saka, Munoz, or Havertz, Son, Robinson, please. Oh, wow. My initial thought when I looked at that was Solanke, Saka, and Munoz, but that is mainly because I really like Saka. I'm a little bit biased, personally, that I just absolutely love Bukayo Saka. People actually used to think I hated Saka because I didn't own him for a few weeks, but I think he's fantastic. We have got... Kieran says, hi, Ross. Henderson, 4 million goalkeeper. Gvardiol, Gabriel, Quansah, Barco, Harwood, Bellis, Jota, Eze, Saka, Rodgers, Nkunku, Haaland, Isak, Solanke. What do you think? Thanks. Firstly, that's a lovely squad. My only concern would be that you've got Quansah and Rodgers that you have to start pretty much every week because you've then got Barco and Harwood Ellis. Oh no, Rodgers is your backup, I suppose. I would personally want another 4.5 defender because as things stand, you are needing Quansah every single week, basically. So I would work out if you can try and free up 0.5 somewhere. I would even maybe be tempted to do Rodgers to Sangare to give you a better backup option for the defense. I just don't think you can start with someone like Quansah and not have a backup 4.5 option personally. That would be my only issue, Kieran. Craig says, we are back. No Salah, Haaland, or Watkins here. Wow, no Salah or Haaland is brave. We'll be watching from behind the sofa every week. Good luck for this season. Good luck to you as well, Craig, and I love it. Listen, everything is viable. Both, neither, one or the other. They are all viable strategies, and I can see all of them doing particularly well this season. Why don't you have any Man City assets at all? I personally don't view it as I need City assets. I see it as I've chosen not to go without Haaland. Sorry, I've chosen to go without Haaland, which left me with only Gvardiol. And I said I have concerns around Rodri's not even back in training yet. Foden's only had one training session. Walker, I think, has had a training session now, but he's not fit enough to start, it doesn't look like. And so at the moment, Rico Lewis is playing at right back, which means Gvardiol has to sit deep. Rodri's not there, so the defence is weak. I just think there are some doubts. And also, I've now spoke to two Man City fans that I trust a lot, and they said if they had to guess, Gvardiol does get rotated in one of the first 6 to 8 games. So if there's all those concerns about him over the first 1 or 2 games, he could concede in game week 1, maybe play a more defensive role in game week 2 against Ipswich, and then in game week 3, he could be rotated. And then at that stage, well, I probably would have preferred Pedro Porro for the attacking threat. So I've just got a little bit of a hesitation around Gvardiol that it may, like I said, be last-minute jitters. It might just be me overthinking it at this stage. Maybe it is, but I don't look at it as no City. I look at it as I've gone without Haaland, and then I've changed my mind a little bit on Gvardiol. But honestly, I could absolutely put Gvardiol in that Pedro Porro spot, and I may well do so. God, lots of questions already. Keep asking your questions. I'll get to as many as I possibly can. Don't you worry. United says, can I either go Ødegaard or Trent, or VVD and Saka? I think you mean Ødegaard and Trent, right? Or VVD and Saka. Oh, that's so tough. Obviously, my answer is Trent and Saka, but you can't do that. I almost genuinely think that the gap between Trent and Van Dijk is bigger than the gap between Ødegaard and Saka. I know that's a crazy thing to say, but I really like Ødegaard. My answer is find a way to get both, but if you can't, maybe Ødegaard and Trent, as crazy as that sounds. I just think there's a big gap between Trent and VVD, whereas there's not such a big gap between Ødegaard and Saka. JSY says, hope you've had a great break pre-season, mate. Good luck for this year. stutter. I've had a good break, although it wasn't much of a break. I'm absolutely loving it, though. All the FPL Therapy podcasts. Let me know if you've been tuning into FPL Therapy, by the way, my new podcast. I would appreciate if you check it out. Been loving that. Pre-season content's been amazing. I feel very blessed to be in the position I'm in, so I'm feeling good, thank you. And thank you for being here, by the way. If you are enjoying the stream, please do hit that like button. If this is the first stream you're watching, please do consider subscribing as well. I would really appreciate it. God, I'm so excited to be back. Giandra says, welcome back and good luck this year. May you only grow in spades. Thank you so much. I hope you have a fantastic season. And thank you for being a member for 6 months. Any reason why Quansah is so popular compared to Pau? I think it's just last season, because Pau missed out due to injury. People have forgotten about him. I expect Pau Torres to start every game along with Quansah. I suppose there is a small chance that Quansah does play the odd game at right back, so Quansah might carry slightly more attacking threat. But I absolutely agree, Pau Torres is fine as well. Right. Do make sure to vote on the captaincy poll, by the way. At the moment, 49% are on Isak, 41% are on Salah. I will just say, I think that's because you're watching a stream where the content creator captains Salah. At the moment, from other streams, it looks like about a probably 20 to 25% captaincy on Salah and about 60% on Isak. So if you want to play safe in game week 1, absolutely captain Isak. If you want to be a bit differential, Salah and, believe it or not, Salah and Haaland are going to be differential. At least amongst the engaged managers. Maybe in the overall player base, that's not the case, but you're not trying to beat someone that logs into their team once every 6 weeks and plays in their work mini league. Like, you're trying to beat those top managers. And so I think Isak will definitely be the most popular captain in game week 1. Warren says, honest opinion on going for Sells, or should I play safe and go for Henderson? I love Sells as a pick. I can only say with about 70% confidence that Sells is number 1. Whereas with Henderson, I can say with like 95% confidence. So for me, there's not enough. Sells isn't that much of a better option that it's worth the risk associated personally. Charles says, hi from Miami, Ross. Hello to you, Charles, in Miami. I've still never been to the US, believe it or not. Literally never in my life, which is crazy to say. Looking forward to your content this season. Best and friendliest of all the creators. That's lovely to hear, thank you. Thanks for helping me to a rank of 4,882nd last year. I mean, I'm taking absolutely no credit for that. That is a brilliant rank. Wishing you a fabulous season. You make my days more entertaining. What a lovely comment. Thank you. And congratulations on that rank. Let me know who had the best rank in the chat. Who finished, and don't lie, be honest with yourselves, who who had a really, really solid finish last year. My girlfriend's sat over there on her phone. She finished top 2K, so that's your threshold to try and get past. Who finished better than top 2K? What was your final rank?
1,927.
She finished 1,927. With a...
Hello, by the way. I was forced not to be on my phone to preserve internet.
You did it for like 3 minutes.
No, I waited longer than that.
First. Well, you didn't finish first because we know you finished first. 5,069th. I'm a bit sus. There are some good ranks in here. If you guys are being honest, there are some people that clearly had a good finish. Otherwise, if you're lying, then shame on you. But if you finished well, then good job. Proud of you all. Right. The egg is back. What are your thoughts on Doku? I'm just avoiding City attack. But for what it's worth, I think Doku will start the season on the left wing in Game Week 1. Absolutely. And I think he might even get Game Week 2 as well. Solanke and Eze and 0.5 or Maniz and Foden. Absolutely the former. Solanke, Eze and 0.5. I wouldn't touch Foden at all at the moment. I just don't think he's going to... I don't think he's going to get the minutes, sadly, early on. It'd be nice if he did, though. Tiggy Taylor with the gifted 5 memberships. Wow. That is extremely kind. Right, who got the 5? If you just got gifted a membership, make sure to say thanks to Tiggy. So we've got FPL Chicken, Glenn, Pooley, Blues Fan, and Aziz. You've all just been gifted a membership by Tiggy Taylor. Thank you so much, Tiggy. I appreciate you so much. That's very kind. Right, where was I? I lost where I was because that was very kind. Hi, Ross. Can't decide between Trent, Eze, and João Pedro or Quansah, Gordon, and Solanke. Second option could still have Eze and 0.5 in the bank. Have Hall and ESR benched. Oh, that's such a tight one. I would go Trent, Eze, and João Pedro just about. Cause I think overall that's a better mix. But I do like the idea of having Solanke. But I think I'd go for the first one. Choose one of Salah and Nkunku and Garnacho, or Saka and Palmer and Smith Rowe. Or Saka and Nkunku and Bruno. I think Saka and Nkunku and Bruno as a total, honestly, probably sounds just about the best to me. Just about, but it's very, very close. I did that one. Thoughts on Szoboszlai and Havertz as assets? Szoboszlai I'd be slightly put off by, just because I think Elliott could play that role and so could Gakpo. Havertz I really like. I think he'll start most games for Arsenal, but there is always that doubt around whether he gets enough minutes, especially with Gabriel Jesus looking good. Ham says, can't wait for another season of videos and streams. I'm on a Haaland team. Have you spoke about Udogi over Porro? Saves the 0.5. Firstly, Haaland team, whatever. Don't care. Don't like Haaland anyway. Udogi over Porro is an interesting one. Why is no one speaking about Udogi? Spurs fans, let us know in the chat. What is the situation with Udogi? Because at points last season, he was just as attacking. I know he doesn't have the set pieces, but he's 0.5 cheaper. So for those of you looking for a Spurs attacking defender, unless Udogi's just not fully fit, which I may be wrong, he might not be fully fit, but unless that is the case, I just love him as an option. Yeah, I agree. Could be really nice. Gvardiol Maniz or Robinson Solanke got Trent Porro. I think Robinson Solanke. No, I don't. Oh, that's so tough. Gvardiol Maniz by like 1%, but I think both of them are absolutely fine. Feeling Tony over Solanke, is that a bad idea? Yeah, because we just don't know where Tony's going to end up. If he stays at Brentford, great, but the fixtures aren't perfect, and we don't know if he will. The transfer window's still open. See, I wouldn't go there myself. Palmer is 38% selected. Why so low with engaged managers? So I did a template team about 5 or 6 days ago, and he was owned by 13% of engaged managers. The reason for that is you want to get a premium midfielder in there, and if you've got Nkunku and maybe even Jota, it feels like you can cover Liverpool, you can cover Chelsea, whereas like Saka is the best Arsenal midfielder. Son is the best Spurs midfielder. I know Palmer is really good, but I think it's Nkunku. I think if Nkunku didn't exist, I reckon he's maybe 30 to 40% more owned amongst engaged managers, Palmer. I just think we feel like we can cover him with Nkunku, which maybe isn't the right thought process, but I think that's all it is. What about Havertz up front with Isak and Maniz? My midfield is basically the same as yours. I did toy with this, by the way. I've got 0.5 in the bank. I could do Diogo Jota to Winks or Sangare, and I could put Havertz as part of the front three. So my attack would be Nkunku, Eze, Saka, Salah, Solanke, Isak, Havertz. I really like it. I just think I slightly prefer the upside with Jota, just because he's a midfielder, and his goal threat is outrageous when he plays. Munoz and Gordon / Eze and Porro. My eyes immediately thought Eze and Porro. I'm just answering these based on gut instinct because they're so close, a lot of these, and immediately I looked at Eze and Porro and I thought I prefer that. Who should I start, Mateta or Nkunku, game week 1? That's a great question. I'd be inclined to say Nkunku right now. I know that's crazy, but do you still own Eze in your team? Yeah, I mean, my team's on your screen. You can see Eze there. He's in there right now. I have toyed with the idea of removing him, but we just don't have a strong enough room. And if Eze were to stay, and I ended up removing Eze just because of some small rumours, I just don't want to do it unless we get something more concrete myself. CW says, hi Ross, hope you're doing well. I'm doing fantastically. Love to be back streaming. What do you think of Eze, Saka and Quansah, or Smith Rowe, or any 5.5, Palmer and Porro? Oh, that's such a tough one. I think I have to say Eze, Saka and Quansah, but I think, again, that's very, very close. Haaland and Murphy or Salah and Solanke? I'm going to say Salah and Solanke, Caleb, because that's what I'm doing, but I think they're both very good options. Foden's just a game week 1 problem. I want him now, yes? If you're saying do you want to just pick him and bench him in game week 1, you could do, but that's a lot of money to do that with. I wonder if you could just start the season with Son, and then maybe if you want to move to Foden in game week 2 or 3, you've got that choice. I know it's banking transfer, or booking transfers in, I should say, but you don't know that Foden will even be back for the Ipswich game, to be honest. He might not be. I think he's got a good chance of starting that game, but he might come off the bench. I suppose it depends how many minutes he gets against Chelsea, if any. How is this as a team, Arjun says. Yeah, beautiful team, Arjun. Little bit weak in the defence. Like, if that's your starting team, you've got Quansah and Barco starting. I'd need to see your bench as well, but in terms of players you've got covered, Arjun, I like that a lot. No issues there. I like the fact that you've got Son, Salah, Palmer, and Saka. I would just say, based on what you've shown me there, your bench is probably non-existent, and I wouldn't want to rely on starting Barco and Quansah every week, personally. Shazam says, are Winks and Fast good for bench fodder to make up the numbers, as it were, or do you recommend anyone else? I think at 4.5, I like Sangare of Nottingham Forest. He looks like he should be the starting centre mid for Forest, and I just think he's got more of a goal in him than Winks. So I think if you're looking for a 4.5... maybe not quite as nailed as Winks, but I would be surprised if Sangare doesn't start pretty much every game. So he would be my 4.5 of choice. And honestly, at the moment, my 4 of choice is actually Greaves or Johnson of Ipswich. Greaves is the more nailed one, and he's got some attacking threat from set pieces. But Johnson, Ipswich have been toying with the idea of playing a back 5, apparently. And if they do that, Johnson will be playing as a right wing back. That's Ben Johnson, used to play for West Ham, I believe. So Ben Johnson at right wing back could be fantastic. So those, I would probably go Sangare and Greaves as my favourite 4.5 and 4. But yeah, Fass and Winks are absolutely fine as well if you'd prefer to go there. At the end of the day, you don't regularly want to be relying on a 4.5 and a 4 defender, really, do you? What do you think of this team? Smells like Yellow 182 has sent me. I won't read it out because then it's so quick, but no major issues apart from Burn, Walker, and Barco, which is 3 of your defenders, I suppose. So I would have a slightly stronger defence, or defenders that you know will start in game week 1. I think Burn will start at left centre back in game week 1, but beyond that, I don't know. Walker probably won't start game week 1, but you've got him, I suppose, to come off the bench in game week 2 if he starts there. But I still think Rico Lewis could start in game week 2, so that's not a dead cert. And then Barco could be an absolute gem. And if he pops off and he gets that left-back slot held down, then absolutely. But I just think you've got a few too many issues with that defence, personally. Joseph Stack says, hey, Raptor, thanks for all the advice so far this preseason. Not seen Maatsen or Amari Hutchinson in any draft so far. Why do you think that is? Hutchinson's just going under the radar, in all honesty. I've not really considered him, but he could be great. I just think there are so many other good 5.5s playing for teams that we know are good attacks. Even someone like a Smith Rowe or a Murphy. I just expect those teams to create more chances. Maatsen, I just think it comes down to, do we know that he's going to go straight into that 11 and start every game? Because if he doesn't, I'd much rather someone like Munoz at 5 million. So I think it's just slightly safer alternatives, in all honesty, Joseph. But they're both fine picks. Todd says, Trent Pedro or Hall Havertz. Game week 1 bench boost in play. Wow. I think if you're going for a game week 1 bench boost, probably Hall and Havertz. I just worry a little bit about João Pedro. And I also really like the fixture for Newcastle. So I would go Hall and Havertz, to be honest. Yeah, good luck with the game week 1 bench boost. As you say, play it your way. Absolutely. I love that so much. I wish more people played it their way and weren't so scared to go different. Chris says, hi, Ross. You're going Salah instead of Haaland, just like me. Fantastic. There's more of us. Thoughts and prayers in game week 2 for Haaland versus Ipswich, Salah Hall versus Brentford. Stranger things have happened than Haaland having a quiet game against Ipswich. I'm not saying a blank, but if Haaland gets you 13 points against Ipswich, that's great, right? But I can deal with that as long as Salah gets a return, as you say, against Brentford. So I don't expect to get a green arrow in game week 2. I expect to suffer. But if in game week 2 I can get away with a small red arrow, outside of that, I'm probably loving life. So, obviously if Haaland scores 5 goals in game week 2, we're screwed. But if not, yeah, let's do it. I'm feeling pretty okay with it. Famous last words. I'll be crying on my transfer plans video on Sunday. But that'll be at least entertaining content, won't it? I'm ready for it. So guys, very, very briefly, I did just want to say that today's stream has been sponsored, but please stick with me because this is actually a dream sponsorship for me. And it's actually Manchester United. So Manchester United have released a fantasy football game called Fantasy United. There is a link at the top of the description and also a link pinned in the chat. It's basically just a fantasy football game. So all you have to do is click on that link, open a pack, and once you've opened a pack, you can build a squad. The deadline is in 2 hours because obviously Man United play tonight. So whilst you're watching this stream, in the background, especially if you're a Man United fan, open a pack, build your squad. And if you join my league, which is the link, or you can use the code NA1TQH, I am giving away 2 signed Man United jerseys and also 2 sets of VIP Premier League football tickets to watch Man United play. Even if you're not a Man United fan, but a family member or a friend is, you could get a signed jersey or VIP Premier League tickets, which is amazing. There's actually only about 200 people in the league at the moment. So 4 people out of 200 are going to be winning some pretty insane prizes. So do give it a go. Massive shout out to Man United. We'll maybe cover it a little bit more later. But this is currently my team going into the first game against Fulham. And I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, like I said, do give it a check out. Especially if you're a Man United fan. But maybe even if not, I would give it a check. And what a dream, by the way. I cannot believe that I get to be sponsored by my boyhood club. Like, what is life? Sponsored by Man United, like sponsored by Neto back in the day. I can't believe it. It's crazy, isn't it? But there we go. Let me know what you think of my team in the chat as well. Someone said no thanks. I bet you're a Liverpool fan. I bet you're a dirty Liverpool fan. I love it. There was loads of people like, no. I was like, yeah, you're definitely Liverpool and Arsenal fans, aren't you? Right, let's get back to answering your questions. I am a little bit behind, and when I say a little bit behind, I mean extremely behind on the super chats, but I am answering them. So if you've given me a super chat, don't worry, I'm going to do them. I'm just trying to jump between the chat and super chat so that I can answer everyone's questions. Guardiola to Porro and Harwood Bellis to Aina Concert, or just Guardiola to Gabriel, or am I overthinking this whole Rodri thing? I've got that exact same thought process at the moment. When I look at that, I love the idea of Guardiola to Porro and Harwood Bellis to Aina. I feel like that just gives you a much stronger squad in general, so I would be willing to go for that. But then I look at it and I think, I do have 0 City now, which does feel pretty strange. Yeah, I don't know. Well, if City do... To be honest, City have been known to start the season slow. Maybe I'm just clutching at straws here, but you do never know. And I think all of my players are great. So yeah, why not? This team does have 0.5 in the bank. Because Taylor's just asked, if you had 0.5 in the bank, would you move Eze to Gordon? This team does have 0.5. So I could do Eze to Gordon. I could also do Greaves to a 4.5. I could do Robinson to Moniz. I could do Solanke to Havertz. I could do Diogo Jota to Havertz and switch to a 3-4-3. So I may well spend that 0.5 in the next couple of hours. But for now, I'm choosing to keep it in the bank. Do you think I will need Saka this season? No, absolutely not. That team's really nice. You don't need Saka. You don't need Son. You don't need Haaland or Salah. You choose the players you want. I absolutely think Palmer and Son could comfortably outscore Saka. I think Saka's still the best, hence why Saka's in my team. But all of those premium midfielders are absolutely fine. Eze and Porro or Bruno and Hall? Robinson first sub. Eze and Porro or Bruno and Hall? Yeah, and Eze and Porro just look stronger for me. And I like the fact that Robinson actually rotates really nicely with with Porro. I actually had Ola Aina on my bench, but I think if you're going for Porro, let me show you this actually, because it was something that I was looking at earlier. Porro's fixtures where you wouldn't want to play him particularly are 3, 4, and 6, I would argue. Outside of that, you're probably okay playing him every week. And in 3, 4, and 6, you've got Ipswich, West Ham, and Forest for Robinson. So I think if you're going for Porro, Robinson is absolutely the defender to go for me. He just rotates the best. Liam Brown has sent the team. What do you think? I have Munoz, Robinson, Aina Murphy, Jota, Saka, Isak, Wood, Haaland, Wood, and Smith Rowe. Double Wood. Nice team. No major issue. I like Chris Wood as an option. Murphy's a really cheeky punt. Robinson and Aina are my two 4.5s of choice. Looks like a nice team, Liam. No issues at all. Not at least from a first glance, I can't spot anything. Bolus's thoughts on Game Week 2 bench boost. Henderson, Jota, Robinson, Barco. I wouldn't want a bench boost with Barco against Man United. And it's a bit difficult to maybe just reassessing Game Week 2. If Barco looks amazing, he takes set pieces, he looks nailed on, Jota looks absolutely amazing. Yeah, maybe that will look like a Game Week 2 bench boost, but I don't think you can decide that now, to be honest. Great channel and lovely bloke. Good to see you. Thank you very much. What a nice thing to say. Mark says, hey, Ross, Henderson and ESR or Raya and Winks? Oh, Henderson and ESR in isolation, but I'd need to see the rest of your team. But immediately when I looked at it, that was my thought. Jota, Bruno, Murphy, Eze, and Kunku. What do you think of Eze to Mbermo? Mbermo I would love if the overall fixtures were better. I mean, they've got two really nice home fixtures in the opening three, I believe. But I still think I would prefer to go... I like Rashford at 7 million. I've toyed with the idea of getting Marcus Rashford in here, but maybe that's a bit of Man United bias, potentially. I like Jota, Bruno, Murphy, Eze, and Kunku. I think that's a really nice team. I would prefer Eze to Mbermo. Best 4.5 Newcastle defender. Love you, Raptor, and I admire you. Thank you. That's very sweet. I would go for Lewis Hall as a 4.5 Newcastle defender. Any thoughts on KDB? He only played like 1 minute in the Community Shield, didn't he? I would honestly be looking for other players at the moment. If you want to take a risk that he starts Ipswich, which you may well do, go for it. But I just think I'd rather go for Heung-min Son or Saka to start the season, honestly. Hi, Ross. Are you expecting to get the Man United lineup? I'm not expecting to, but I think there's a high possibility. And I do know a few Manchester United accounts that often message me. So stick around, maybe. But I'm definitely not making any promises. I don't get it every single week. Do you have any De Bruyne news? Nothing yet. My initial instinct is that he doesn't start and that he gets 30 minutes off the bench, which could be fine. But as I said, I would rather just go for Heung-min Son. I'd find that extra 0.5 that you need to get Son instead. Will, good to see you. Thank you for being a member for 4 months. Gvardiol and Nkunku or Trent ESR? We'll have to start ESR this week over Rodgers. I would still say... Oh, no, would I? Do you know what? I really like Smith Rowe. I'd go Trent and Smith Rowe just, but I think that's extremely close. Could also do Salah Quansah to Saka Trent. I mean, yeah, in isolation, Saka Trent, but I like the security of having Salah. I would keep Salah Quansah. I think that's fine. And I think I would probably go for Trent and Smith Rowe just. But that's very close. Gabriel and Solanke or Porro and Havertz? Oh. Gabriel and Solanke or Porro and Havertz? Oh, what do you think on that one, chat? That's a really close one. Gabriel and Solanke or Porro and Havertz? I would go Gabriel and Solanke just about. But I think that's very close. Play Brereton Diaz or ESR in Game Week 1? I'd play Smith Rowe. I think Man United will concede. And you just got to hope that Smith... I don't think we'll concede more than 1 or 2, but you got to just hope that Smith Rowe is the one that's involved in that goal. Hi, sir. Jota or Gordon? If Jota, Gordon or Ødegaard. So you got to pick 2 of them. Jota and Ødegaard in isolation, but obviously I don't know how that affects the rest of your squad. Yeah, probably Jota, Ødegaard, Gordon. I've just got a little bit of concern around how many minutes Gordon gets in Game Week 1, honestly. Would you go Solanke and Minte or Jota and Zhao? Yeah, I don't love... I'd probably go Solanke and Smith Rowe if that's an option, but Solanke and Minte probably just. I've gone off João Pedro a little bit. I still think he could be a gem if he gets the minutes, but there's quite a lot of uncertainty around him, I think, now. Trent and Nkunku or Gabriel and Gordon? Trent and Nkunku, for me. Super Duper has been a member for 14 months. Thank you very much. Cameron Archer to Southampton. Right, this is what I thought. So Cameron Archer has joined Southampton for I think it was 15 million was the fee that has been rumoured. I've got 0.5 in the bank. What are the chances that I ever need a 5 million forward, though? Like, what are the chances I need them? It's not very high, but Archer could be a decent shout. Oh, he's going to have the wrong fixtures, isn't it? Let me show you Armstrong's fixtures. He's not moved in the game yet, but he will obviously move. Newcastle, Forest, Brentford, United, Ipswich, Bournemouth, Arsenal, Leicester, City, Everton, Wolves. That opening 11... is really not awful overall. And again, you're not playing them every week. It would just be a matter of if you need them. So I have toyed with the idea of using that extra 0.5 to go for Archer. I just wonder, would it be more useful to have 0.5 in the bank or to have an 8th attacker? Especially when I'm not really probably expecting that much from Archer. There are suggestions that Archer will actually be the number 9 for Southampton because actually Adam Armstrong's played on the right wing quite a lot for Southampton. So if Adam Armstrong shifts out to the right and you've got Southampton's starting striker for 5 million, I have absolutely no issue with it as a pick. Sorry, by the way, if you can see a weird light, it is so sunny at the moment and my blinds are letting the sun through. George Thompson says, oh, he's just become a Rap Tier 2 member. Thank you very much, George. I appreciate you. Chat, what do we think of Archer at 5 mil? No, you wouldn't bother. Southampton are woeful, though. I don't know if they're woeful, but yeah, I understand that the sentiment that we're probably not expecting many goals. Why don't you have Gvardiol? Rodri's confirmed as not being available for Game Week 1 because he's not even trained, so there's a chance he's not even available for Game Week 2. And Walker and Foden probably aren't going to start. I just think the team looks a little bit weak for Game Week 1. And then Game Week 2, I still don't know if Walker and Foden will be in a position to start. Rodri sounds like there's a very good chance he won't. If Rico Lewis starts again at right back, Gvardiol plays as more like a left centre back. I think Gvardiol is fantastic, so he's still a great option, but there are a few concerns that I've got around him at the moment. Also, I was looking for an excuse to get Pedro Porro in because I really like him. I just didn't have enough spaces. You can't have 4 premium defenders, I don't think. So maybe it was just me looking for an excuse, to be honest. I don't know. Lewis Hardy says, what do we think to this, Ross? Raya, Gvardiol, Trent, Porro, Eze, Saka, and Kunku, Salah, Solanke, Wood, Isak, and the bench is Smith Rowe, Greaves, Robinson. Wow, that's a beautiful team. That really is. Wow, yeah. I mean, looks like an insane team, and then you've got a really strong bench. I guess it's because you've got Wood in there. Mate, I love that team. Yeah, Lewis, really nice team. One of the better teams I've seen. I mean, it's similar to mine. It just looks better. I don't know. I guess you haven't got... Wait, who don't you have there? Oh, Jota. Okay. So you've got Wood instead of Jota, which allows you a more expensive bench. Do you know what? That's a possibility for me. I'll actually consider that right now because I looked at your team and thought you had some better team than mine. But I do like Jota. I don't know. I have Haaland in my team, triple captain Game Week 2. He's absolutely a consideration for triple captain. I don't like triple captaining that early in the season because we don't know. Ipswich might get beat by Liverpool 2-3-0. It might be that Ipswich are actually a very decent defence in the Premier League and City only win 2 or 3-0 again. Even if Haaland scores 2 goals, that's not a brilliant triple captain score. So I would probably rather play it in a double game week or at least wait later in the season. Let's say that one of the newly promoted sides, whether it be Southampton, Leicester or Ipswich, are absolutely abysmal, then you could still play it in a single game week later in the season. So I wouldn't be triple captaining in game week 2. Missed the Egg King. Thank you very much. Eze and Gvardiol and Winks or ESR, Trent and Rodgers. ESR, Trent and Rodgers for me. Joshua says Raya and Munoz or Henderson and Gabriel. It's a great question. I prefer Henderson and Gabriel, hence my team. But I might run a poll for that in a second because loads of people seem to prefer Raya and Munoz, but I prefer Henderson and Gabriel. What are your thoughts on triple Arsenal defence as a season hold? I like double. I really do. I would leave a third spot open for Havertz, Saka, Ødegaard, Martinelli. What happens if Trossard gets injured and Martinelli starts every game? Is he 7 mil? You'd want him. What if Saka, this is the season where he starts adding even more goals? I just don't think you want to lock yourself in with triple Arsenal. But double defence is absolutely viable. I like it a lot. N Chuckster says, hi Ross, good luck to you and Pickle this season. Thank you very much. Your videos and coffee became my morning ritual now. I love a good routine. There are certain YouTubers that I watch where I watch them with dinner or in the morning. So I do appreciate that. That's quite nice to have that routine, and I'm glad. Which combo would you go with? Bruno Watkins or Saka Solanke? Salah only team, 0 in the bank, thanks. I think Saka and Solanke for me. I think Solanke's going to be such good value, and I just love Saka. I do like Bruno and Watkins, and I think over the season, Bruno and Watkins may well outscore Saka and Solanke. It'll be very close, but I think at the start of the season, Saka and Solanke for me. Afternoon/evening, Ross. Why is no one talking about De Ligt thinking about a Rashford masterclass tonight? I think Man United defence just isn't something we desperately want to cover at the moment. As much as I would love it to be as a Man United fan, it's not something that I'm desperate to look at right now. Rashford, on the other hand, I do think is going slightly under the radar. Rashford has been out of form, you could say, for a while now, but at 7 million, he's not a bad punt to take. He may well be starting as the number 9 tonight, but if he's off the left, it will be Bruno central as the number 9. It makes both of them great options. Rashford with Bruno as the 9, playing off the left is almost like a wide striker is fantastic because Bruno drops in and Rashford obviously penetrates the back line. That sounds a bit sus. And he gets in behind and Bruno can play those balls over the top and those through balls. So I would almost prefer Rashford if he's not playing as the 9. But if he is, I guess he's playing quite centrally. So listen, Rashford for me is a genuine option. I tweeted earlier that I'm looking maybe doing Jota to Rashford. And then that would give me obviously 1 million to play with in my team. And it might allow me to do, I could even do, if I did Jota to Rashford, I could do Henderson to Raya and go for double Arsenal defence. It's nice. It's quite. I like it a lot. Or I could upgrade my bench, or I could potentially look to try and squeeze in a slightly more expensive player, maybe like another Gordon, or try and get to a Bruno Fernandes in the Eze spot. So it gives you some flexibility, let's say. I like Rashford a lot. I can't sign into the MUFC link. Any issues? Maybe just try and go onto the Man United collectible site, go onto the fantasy, and then join my mini league using the code rather than using the link. I don't think there's an issue with my link, but if there is, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully there's no issues. Give it another go and let me know how you get on. God, I'm very behind on the super chat. Sorry, guys, I'm getting there. I'm a little bit slow now. By the way, we've had 8 new members already. If you would like to become a member for the season, I don't really push it because I hate asking for your money, but if you would like to become a member, there are a couple of different tiers. I would recommend the $4.99 a month tier just because you get access to a monthly Discord call. You can ask for advice in the chat. You can join our mini league, which has prizes. The GAMEWEEK1 deadline is the deadline for entering, by the way. You have to be a member all season, but we have some pretty cool prizes in there. There's a lovely community over on Discord. So if you do want to become a member, there is a link in the description, or you can click the button at the bottom of the chat to become a member. Do consider it. Right, where were we? Pope and a 5 million mid, who? Or Hendo and Smith Rowe? Hendo and Smith Rowe, absolutely. Doku, Rogers and Fernandes, or Son, Smith Rowe and Sangare? Son, Smith Rowe and Sangare. Anurag says, thoughts on this draft, please? Okay. Drop Palmer to Nkunku, upgrade either Pedro Solanke or Quansah to Trent, short by 0.5 to do both. I would drop Palmer personally, just because the thing, I don't want to put you off Palmer. Palmer's a great option. I think that team honestly looks really nice. It's different, but it's strong. I like Brereton Diaz. I like Palmer. Muniz is still a really nice option for me. You know what, Anurag? I'm not going to tell you to change that. I think that's a really nice team. Jack says, final decision is going Garnacho and Haaland or Watkins and Salah. Getting cold feet due to Rodri. Also, keep up the great work, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I mean, in ice, like Watkins and Salah just sounds better than Haaland and Garnacho, but obviously it really depends on how you feel about captaincy in the coming weeks. I'd say, given the risk associated with Watkins at the moment, I would be tempted to start with Garnacho and Haaland and move to Watkins in Game Week 3. So as much as I love the Salah drafts, just looking at that, I don't mind the idea of Haaland and a 6.5. Why is Nkunku a good choice? He had exceptional data in the Bundesliga, and I know it's the Bundesliga, but he had something like 53 attacking returns in 2 seasons, which is like, that blows the mind. Like, those are crazy numbers. The only person that came from the Bundesliga with that good of a number was Erling Haaland, right? I know we've had players like Sancho that have come over that have looked really good, and Timo Werner, but Nkunku's got even better numbers than them. So he's very promising for 6.5, and I think he'll be integral to that Chelsea attack. Sam Jeffries has become a Rap Tier 1 member. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Nahar says, Gabriel Porro Hall Quansah, playing bench, 5 million defender, was thinking Zinchenko or Lewis or any other sug. Is that sub? I don't like Zinchenko or Lewis. I think they're both issues long term, so I wouldn't be going there. Gabriel Porro Hall Quansah. Munoz I would still go for. I mean, if you've got Henderson, I understand that you might not want to take the double up there for the Palace defence, but I still think I would go for the Munoz myself. But yeah, I don't mind the defence outside of that. Alexa, no. Oh, cancel. It was the person's name. I've set off my echo. No, sorry, please stop. Any tips by defence, midfield, and attack? Okay, I won't read it out. No, wow, it's a really nice team. I would just say you're a bit stacked on the bench. I don't know that you need Henderson, João Pedro, and Mikalenko as a bench. So I would maybe look, although the starting 11's really strong. No, really nice team, actually. One of those where I actually don't have much to change. Sorry. I think it's really nice. Munoz, Nkunku, or Robinson, Eze? Oh, that's a really tough one. I'm going to say Robinson and Eze, but I think that is extremely close. And as I said that, might prefer Munoz and Nkunku. I think that's literally a 50-50. I really like Munoz, but I also prefer Eze to Nkunku if I had to choose one. I'm sorry, that is honestly 50-50. Solanke and Gabriel or Wood and Trent? Oh, God, these are so difficult. Wood and Trent, Solanke, Gabriel. Wood and Trent, just. On wildcard 4, going Sells, best 4 million goalkeeper in case he loses his spot. There aren't any good 4 million goalkeepers, but probably Fabianski or Valdemarsson. Jota and Konsa, or Eze and Munoz. Well, when I looked at that, I just thought Eze and Munoz straight away. Mainly because I don't love Konsa as a pick. Johan Wisser is my differential striker at 6 mil. Listen, if he continues to start, absolutely. And if Tony is off, then there's a good chance he does continue to start. There's some risk associated with that. What are your thoughts on having Bruno and Hudson-Odoi, or is there a better option? Love the content. I absolutely love Bruno and Hudson-Odoi, but I suppose you could potentially go for like Jota and Bailey instead for the same price. Did you miss my super chat, or did I miss your response, Mr. Martin? I might have just missed your super chat. I'm going to go back through and make sure I haven't missed any in a second, mate. Don't worry. I'll have a look now. Nana Raptor in the chat. Hey, Ross. Great to be back. Good luck this year, my darling. I've missed your live stream. And I've missed doing it, Nana Raptor. Thank you for being here. If you're new and you're wondering who Nana Raptor is, it's literally my nan. In her 80s. Absolute legend. Plays FPL. Genuinely plays FPL. She does accumulators at the weekend. She's an absolute living legend. I love her so much. And she watches all of my live streams. So there we go. Mr. Martin, where is your super chat? I actually can't see it. Did I miss it? Oh, there. No, I just missed it, generally. Hello again, Mr. Brain. I've missed these streams. Thank you, and I've missed you as well. Would you go Nkunku and Watkins, Bruno and Solanke, or Saka and João Pedro? Bruno and Solanke. Oh, Saka and João Pedro. I think Bruno and Solanke just because of... But I love Saka, but Bruno and Solanke. Obviously, I've got Saka and Solanke, so that would be ideally what I would suggest. But yeah, out of those, I say number 2, Bruno and Solanke. Sorry for missing that, mate. Bruno or Rashford? Absolutely Bruno, if you can afford him, of course. Tobido at 4.5 may be a sleeper bench pick. Absolutely, and don't tell anyone then. I shouldn't have read that out. If you've got a sleeper bench pick, keep it to yourself. But yeah, absolutely, I don't mind that at all. Bruno Quansah Eze or Gabriel Gvardiol, Jota and Kunku? Yeah, so do you have a bit more money in the defence or a bit more money in the attack? I think Bruno Quansah Eze looks really nice. But then I do like the idea of having a premium defender. I suppose it depends if you've got Trent in there already, James. I would probably just about lean towards overall a premium defender, Jota and Kunku. But I like the option of having Bruno in. I'm increasingly thinking more and more I'd love to get Bruno into my team. By the way, again, if you are enjoying today's stream, I won't ask too much, but please can you drop a like on it, but make sure you subscribe as well. That's the most important thing. There will be plenty of content throughout the season, and I'm just so excited to be back. So yeah, if you want to see how this Salah draft goes in comparison to the Haaland ones, make sure to subscribe. English Wanderer says, hi, thanks for the great content. You are so welcome. I have a similar team, but debating Salah, Saka, Raya, Muniz, Nkunku, Gordon, Pickford, Haaland. Much love and good luck. Well, I mean, I much prefer the Salah combination, but you would expect that given that you have an extra 2.5 if you go for Salah. I think in any combination where you're like, you prefer this set of players or this set of players, and one of them involves Haaland, one of them involves Salah, I will inherently prefer the Salah version because you'll have stronger options outside, but it depends on how much you want Haaland. Because some people are just like, I don't want to go without Haaland, which honestly is absolutely fine. I kind of agree with it. I understand it, but I'm willing to take the risk. Possible change, Pope and Gabriel or Raya and Gvardiol? I mean, one of them's more expensive, isn't it? Raya and Gvardiol 0.5 more. Oh, I probably do prefer Raya and Gvardiol, but only if you've got that 0.5 to spare. PSV says, hi Ross, which option would you go with? Solanke and Minte, João Pedro and Diaz, or Muniz and Eze? Muniz and Eze was my initial thought there. Then Solanke and Minte, then João Pedro and Diaz. Eze versus Nkunku. I still think Eze just. Gvardiol versus Trent. Munoz versus Munoz and Henderson. Is it a risk together? No, I think that's fine. I think that's absolutely fine. I'm just going to take a swig of water and I'm going to mute myself so I don't slurp down the mic. Right, I'm back. How good does it feel to be back, by the way? I'm absolutely buzzing. I forget how much I miss these streams, I'm not going to lie. It's like the highlight of my week. As sad as that sounds, I love being here. Right, let me get back to it. Nicola says, Pickford, Porro, Quansah, Anderson, Salah, Eze, Rodgers, with Smith Rowe on the bench, Nkunku, Havertz, Haaland, Isak, Konsa on the bench. What are your thoughts? My initial thoughts are that is a relatively weak defence, but I like it. And obviously you've got Haaland and Salah, so you do have to sacrifice somewhere. At least you've got a bit of cover on the bench. I have no major issues, but I would feel a bit uncomfortable not having any Arsenal defence and not having Trent and not having Gvardiol. I know you can't have all of them, but you're missing quite a few of the key defenders there. But as far as the Salah and Haaland draft goes, it is quite nice. KG says VVD, Aina and Mikalenko or Porro, Munoz and Quansah. Already have Henderson, so Munoz is a Palace defense double up. I still think I prefer Porro, Munoz and Quansah to VVD, Aina and Mikalenko. Yeah, I would go the Porro combination myself. Dan G has just become a Rep Tier 1 member. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. Cedric with the super chat but didn't say anything. So thank you very much, but sorry, there's no message. DK says, do you think Garnacho starts? My initial thought right now is yes. I think he might put Rashford through the middle, Garnacho on the left, and Ahmad on the right. But obviously the other option is Bruno on the left. Sorry, Rashford on the left, Bruno through the centre, and Ahmad on the right. So it really depends on who he wants to play as the number 9 and how desperate he is to get Garnacho in, I think. Need 2 of Garnacho, Eze, Kulusevski. I don't think Kulusevski's an option now, sadly. As much as I loved how he performed in pre-season, I think they could play Solanke through the middle, Son on the left, Brennan Johnson on the right, and Maddison as the 10. So there is a world, and a realistic world at that, in which we don't see Kulusevski start game week 1, which sounds crazy given his pre-season, but just longer term, I just don't trust him as an option. What is your opinion on Diogo as captain? I'm surprised so few are considering this. It's just that he's very likely to come off at 60 to 70 minutes. I don't like captaining a player that's not going to get me 90 mins, or that I don't think will. Obviously, sometimes we're wrong. It could be that Salah comes off at 60 minutes, absolutely, but Jota is definitely more likely than Salah to come off early. That's the only reason. But yeah, if he doesn't, then can we get a Mabama team refill? If you're wondering the context of this, my girlfriend always sits there. She's literally laying on bed right there, and I pointed there and said, "That's my girlfriend, just there." And it was when I had Mabama third sub. So now everyone calls my girlfriend Mabama because I just pointed at Mabama and said, "That's my girlfriend." So there's the context. She's probably tweeted her team. Have you tweeted it yet?
I did like a few days ago.
She-
I haven't uploaded it again.
She will be tweeting it. Just type in FPL_pickle on Twitter and she'll be tweeting it very soon, I'm sure.
I've been locked for quite a while now.
Okay, there you go. She's been locked for a while. Raya Saliba, Trent Gvardiol, Bruno Son, Eze Rashford. Okay, that's a Man United fan if ever I've seen one. Saka, Isak, Wood, Subs, Fabianski, Muniz, Konsa, Fass. Listen, that's a beautiful team, but Bruno and Rashford double up to start the season is giving me PTSD. Let me know in the chat if you started with a Bruno and Rashford double up. It was painful last year. But no, it's a nice team, mate. I've got no major issues with it. I probably wouldn't have both of them, but I like it. Thoughts on João Pedro? I'm concerned. I think his minutes will be good, but not great. And I just think that if he drops a couple of stinkers, he could be rotated. So for me, I'm a little bit hesitant. Also, I don't like the opening 3 fixtures. He's got 3 pretty tricky fixtures there. Everton and United, yes, they could be got at, but Arsenal's awful. I'll be looking at João Pedro from game week 4 at the earliest, personally. Are you seeing that sun pounding down on my... I'm sweating here for you guys. Hope you appreciate it. I missed your response to my super chat. I've probably lost it now, mate. I'm really sorry. I've got to catch up with them. Maybe just try and scroll back a little bit. Best 5 million midfielder until wildcard 6. Ahmad or Rodgers or someone else. Definitely Rodgers now. Rodgers is the best 5 mil mid. Absolutely. And Nkunku and Palmer on the same team. A good idea. Super differential. My only concern is Chelsea were really poor in pre-season. They looked a bit better against Inter, but still not great. I don't know that I'd want both. I think if you go for Palmer, you maybe don't need Nkunku. And maybe if you go for Nkunku, you feel like you could go for Saka or Son instead of Palmer. I know, again, that's the wrong way to think because they're 2 different players, but I'm not sure I'd want to put all of my eggs in the Chelsea basket at the moment. Tushar says, Hall, Saka, Solanke, or Porro, Bruno, Havertz. I also have Son, Salah in midfield and Trent and Guardiola as my 2 premiums. I think Hall, Saka, Solanke... Oh, no, I don't. It's just how much I love Saka, because Porro, Bruno, Havertz... Do you know what? Porro, Bruno, Havertz. I need to get over my love for Saka. I keep choosing people's options where they have... I keep choosing people's options where they have Saka just because Saka's in it. Not necessarily because I even think it's that better of an option. By the way, we've now had almost 10,000 votes on the poll. If you've not yet voted on the poll, make sure you do. And Salah is on 39% captain. Isak is captained by 50%. Haaland 8% and other 3%. So exactly half of you are captaining Isak. And remember that you are watching a streamer that doesn't have Isak captain. So I think Isak captain amongst engaged managers is about, I would say 65 to 70%, which is crazy. Salah is going to be a major differential captain amongst engaged managers, which blows my mind. I can't wrap my head around it. Where am I? I'm so behind, chat. Like... so behind on the messages. Hey, Ross, struggling with the following choices. Saliba or Gabriel? Gabriel for me, Solanke or Havertz, Solanke for me, Eze or Gordon, Eze for me. But I'm just choosing the 3 players that I've got in my team. AG, firstly, thank you for being a member for almost 3 years. That's crazy. Honestly, all of those are 50-50 choices, but I would just go for the 3 that I've chosen, as you can imagine. Hi, Ross. Love your content so much. Thank you very much, Psyops. Option 1 or 2, Raya, Smith Rowe, Pedro, or option 2, Henderson 4.5 mid, Solanke. Raya, Smith Rowe, Pedro. Yeah, I think Raya, Smith Rowe, and Pedro is probably the better combination. Just about, yeah. Munoz Henderson versus Munoz and Help. It's either Henderson, Sells, or Flecken, I think, if you're going from 4.5. God, that sun is blinding me. I don't know what to do.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I probably missed it because I joined late. Why Gabriel over Gvardiol? Is it because you needed a starter this week? It's just concerns early about, is Gvardiol going to be rotated? Is he playing like left back or left centre back? If Rico Lewis plays, it makes him a weaker option. Rodri's not available. There are loads of reasons that I've just been slightly put off of Gvardiol as an option, personally. I still might go for him, by the way, but it wouldn't be instead of Gabriel, it would be instead of Porro. I think for me right now, and I've changed my mind today, but it would be like Trent, Gabriel, Porro, Gvardiol. So if Gvardiol comes back in for me, it will be instead of Porro, I think. Murphy this week and Nkunku next week. Yep, love it. 11 million for a 5th mid and 3rd forward. Please help. Oh, it's probably Smith. It's probably Smith Rowe and... Yeah, probably Smith Rowe and João Pedro. If not Rodgers and Moniz. You know what? I'd actually say Rodgers and Moniz, if you've got 11 million. Yeah, I would. Frosty has been a member for 30 months. What a legend. Ross, please talk me out of Captain Jota. Out of position mid, playing as a forward. Huge goal threat, newly promoted side. I think I just briefly did that. It's just the minutes, mate. If he gets 60 minutes, he could do damage in them. But equally, do you really want to captain a player that's only going to get 60 minutes? And he might get 90. He absolutely could, but I just don't see it. They've got so many options. What's Pickle saying? Pickle's listening to Andy. Pickle never listens. She's a true supporter. She does have an earphone in, though, so she's listening to something. You listening to other people's streams?
Yeah, I'm seeing what they're doing.
Outrageous. So yeah, she is. Oh, chat, look at this. That is so bad. Let me lean this way slightly so I don't get blinded. Wood and Rodgers are in Nkunku and a 4.5 forward. Wood and Rodgers probably. Yeah, I guess. But I mean, no, I wouldn't, because I could do that as well. I think having Nkunku and have the cheap forward. It's difficult without seeing your entire team, like how much you need the cover. Like, what other options have you chosen, I suppose? You can get to Bruno so easy. Gabriel down to Aina, Eze to Bruno, then you can upgrade forward to Archer with the change. Feels a bit naughty. So you're saying Aina and Bruno versus Eze and Gabriel. I think I prefer Eze and Gabriel still. I do agree that is a bit naughty though, isn't it? Start Moniz or Nkunku. That's a tough one. I'd be tempted by Moniz, I do think Nkunku will have a bit of joy, but I like Moniz a lot as an option. Hey, Ross, it's great to be back. It really is great to be back. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Should I go with Raya, Quansah, Smith Rowe, or Henderson, Saliba, Rodgers? Henderson, Saliba, Rodgers for me. Just slightly prefer that as a combo. Saka, Rashford, Solanke, or Salah, Garnacho, João Pedro? Oh, that's so tough. Probably Saka, Rashford, and Solanke in isolation. When I say in isolation, it means I can't see your team. So just out of those few options, those players, but I think it's very close. And obviously, if I'd see your whole team, I might change my opinion. You guys obviously know your own team and strategy more than I do, so take that into account. Son or Saka? I honestly think that's extremely close. I just love Saka. I'm a Saka fanboy. What can I say? I will captain Rashford. Don't mind it. It's cheeky. I wouldn't do it myself, but you never know. Sam Dougie says, we are officially back. I mean, this stream suggests we are absolutely back. Thoughts on Henderson, Porro, Gvardiol, Gabriel, Gordon, Jota, Eze, Salah, Saka, Isak, Solanke. My bench is Burn, Barco, okay, so that's a very weak bench. Burn to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think there are better 4.5s. I prefer Robinson. I prefer Aina. I think Robinson and Aina are my two preferable 4.5s. Eze or Mainu Minte. Worried about Eze leaving and Burn. Gahey signs. I would leave Eze, but yeah, I would replace Burn with Robinson or Aina myself, mate. Hi, Ross. I just can't decide between Porro, Gordon, Havertz, or Gvardiol, Jota, Pedro/Armstrong. Yeah, that is a tough one, isn't it? I don't like the 5.5 forwards. So maybe Porro, Gordon, Havertz. But isn't that still way more expensive? That still seems like that's an extra like 1.5 million, that option. But yeah, maybe Porro, a cheaper midfielder, and Havertz is the better combination, Ross. Regan says, Bruno, Muniz, and Eze, or Solanke, Gibbs, White, and Jota. I have Salah. Oh, wow, that is a tough one. Bruno, Muniz, and Eze, I think, honestly. Thoughts on my draft with 0.5 in the bank, says Pickled at Joystick. No, there's not any obvious changes. I like the Smith Rowe and Rodgers rotation. I like the front line of Haaland, Isak, Solanke, Gabriel, Gvardiol, Hall and Robinson to rotate. Honestly, I mean, that I'm going to be a bit rude and say that is the literal template. You've got 15 out of 15. That is the template. But other than that, it's a really nice team. So yeah, I've got no issues with it. Choose a Newcastle defender and Palmer or Bruno. If you want to go Newcastle defender, it has to be Hall for me. And I would probably say, considering the saving, I prefer Bruno to Palmer at the moment. Just about. Hi, Ross. Son, Nkunku, Hall, or Bruno, Eze, Porro? Bruno, Eze, Porro for me. Lots of people choosing Bruno. I don't mind it, to be honest. I'm a little bit jealous, if anything. I mean, I will just point to the fact that I do have Bruno just in a different fantasy game. So if you've not yet seen, in the top of the chat pinned, there is a link to Manchester United's new fantasy football game. And also there is a link in the description as well. Do check it out. And you can see I've got a rare Bruno. So if Bruno does well tonight, it will do well for me in one fantasy game. It just won't be FPL, sadly. But yeah, do check it out. It's the dream to be playing a Manchester United related fantasy football game. But yeah, I do have some Bruno cover. It doesn't quite work because it's a different game, but you know what I mean. You get the gist. Wood or Muniz for the first three? It's so tough. Honestly, maybe Wood, but I think it's extreme. I've got a personal preference for Muniz just about, but I suppose it depends if you've got like Smith Rowe in there as well, I guess. Bailey Conser or Smith Rowe Porro? Smith Rowe Porro. Aina or Quansah? Aina for me. Absolutely Aina for me. I really like Olarena. Olarena and Robinson are my two favourite 4.5s. Downgrading Kunku or Eze to ESR to afford Gvardiol to Trent. Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, if you do Eze and you can get Aina as well. Yeah, I would do that downgrade probably just about. I don't love the idea of losing Eze, but I also feel like Trent is an upgrade on Gvardiol overall. Abby Manus has sent their team in. No major issues. Advice? Not really. It's really nice. It's a really strong team. I've got no huge issues with that. Murphy's obviously a bit of a risk, but you've got Rodgers there on the bench to come in from game week 3. It's a really nice team. No major issues at all. Gordon or Solanke for the 7th attacker? Already have Jota. I prefer Solanke. Do you think Robertson will start? No, I don't. I think out of the 6 million defenders, I would say Gabriel, then Saliba, then Gvardiol, just about. Yeah, that would be my favourite. I would maybe even prefer Van Dijk to Robertson if you want a 6 million Liverpool defender. Eze and Wood or Smith Rowe and Solanke? Oh, it's so tough. Eze and Wood. Just. Because I think you've got one extra penalty taker in there, don't you? Wood could even take penalties, potentially. Hey, Porro, Son and Muniz or Trent, Eze and Solanke? My brain prefers Trent, Eze and Solanke for some reason. Are people sleeping on Gusto? Maybe. Just Chelsea defensive looks really rough. So I do like Gusto for 5 million, especially with James getting injured again. But I still don't think I would go. I'd prefer Munoz, for example. Hi, Ross. I'm stuck with Salah and Quansah or Saka and Trent. Stuck with Salah and Quansah or Saka and Trent. Oh, God. I mean, like Saka and Trent just sounds so much better, doesn't it? Yes, I have to say Saka and Trent, but I like the idea of having Salah in there, obviously. But this is a big decision to make, right? So how much do you want the likes of Salah and... Because if you go without Salah and Haaland, you can build like the perfect draft, but then you don't have Salah and Haaland, right? Do you think Ivan Toney's an option? I think there's just too much doubt associated with him personally. Christopher has become a Rap Tier 2 member. Thank you very much. We now have 11 new members just from this stream alone. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Henderson and Flecken, because they rotate well, downgrade one of them and to have a 4.5 defender instead of Barco Fass. I would rather the 4.5 defender. Hi, Ross. Do you think I need Saka in my team? No, that's a perfect team. Ha_United. I love that team. You don't need Saka. Absolutely not. Hello, Mr. Mabama. Areola. Okay, you give me your team. What are your thoughts? Gusto. So you have Gusto in there. Ahmad. Kudus. I don't hate it, but your bench is as cheap as you can get. Two 4.0 defenders and a 4.5 forward. And you've got Ahmad, Gusto, and Kudus in the 11. It's not for me. Kudus' fixtures are very tricky. Ahmad's not nailed. And Gusto, I don't know that you can rely on him every single game. They would be my only concerns. Maybe you're a West Ham fan because you've got Areola and Kudus, in which case, maybe go for it. But I would be looking to remove Kudus and Ahmad and go for something like, even if it's like Smith Rowe and Murphy or something like that. I just don't love Ahmad and Kudus as picks myself. I really like Jacob Murphy as an option, Sanj. Yeah, I've got no issue. I think he'll start at least game week 1. Whether he'll start longer term or not, I've got no idea. So maybe he becomes an issue, but short term he should be fine. Carlos has sent their team. Any changes you would make? Henderson, Ward, Trent, Gabriel, Livramento, Barco, Taylor, Harwood, Bellis. You've given me 6 defenders there. That can't work. Rogers, Diogo, Son, and Nkunku, Smith Rowe, Havertz, Haaland, Isak. Lovely team. My only concern would be that defence. Livramento, Barco, and whether it's Taylor or Harwood, Bellis. You've got 2 4.0 defenders and Livramento isn't nailed. So I would find a way to get a better 4.5 that you can start every week or rotating 4.5s. Like find a way to get Robinson instead of Taylor or Harwood, Bellis. Ben says, what are your thoughts on this team? Henderson, Porro, Gvardiol, Quansah, Diogo. Jota is in like everyone's draft, isn't he? Saka, Eze, Nkunku, Haaland, Isak, Solanke. Yeah, I mean, it's the template. It's the template, and it's a good template. It's a template for a reason. But yeah, you've got a very similar team to the majority of other engaged managers, which I'm not saying is an issue, and I'm not saying you should change it, but therefore it's probably quite strong, right? If everyone's got the same kind of team. Paul says, hi Ross, all the best for the start of the season. I appreciate you very much, Paul. Thanks for being here as always. I'm starting with Haaland. Game week 4 is a great point to jump onto Salah with keeping Haaland in your team, and then wildcard game week 6. Nice. Yeah, I like that as a plan. Is my camera going or is that my internet? Who knows? Probably both. I like the idea of starting with Salah and maybe starting with Haaland and maybe looking to move him on after game week 3. Because you get that Ipswich game, right? And this is the thing. People that have Haaland now, I suppose you're not locking yourself into keeping him forever. You could early wildcard or you could just downgrade him to Watkins and bring in Saka. You've got the options there. Reese says, Murphy for Nkunku this week and switch next week. I wouldn't book in transfers like that. I'd just start with Nkunku. Would you consider booking... literally the next question. Would you consider booking in Gordon to Eze in game week 4? Okay, that's a little bit better. If Quansah, Hall and Jota are your only minutes risks. Yeah, I'd be fine doing that. I mean, you're booking it in, but you don't have to make that transfer, right? So if by the time game week 4 swings around, you don't want to make it, that's absolutely fine, yeah. Why is no one talking about 4.5 Areola? I guess we need to wait and see what West Ham look like under new management. But yeah, Areola's fine. I'd prefer a Crystal Palace keeper or a Nottingham Forest keeper. Cannon, Saka, and Eze plus 0.5 in the bank, or Havertz, Smith Rowe, and Bruno 0. Oh wow. I love Saka, so the first one for me. Hrishi says, my favourite FPL Eggman is back. Missed you 3,000, Ross. Thank you so much. I've missed you too. Have a great season. Much love and entertaining us. Say hi to Nana Raptor and FPL Pickle. Oh, what a superstar. Thank you so much. Pickle said and Nana Raptor I'm sure is watching. Hello, Nana Raptor. Start, bench Ahmad or Nkunku game week 1. And if you've got Ahmad, let's wait and see if we get a leak in the next hour and a half. But I would absolutely be going Ahmad myself. You've got to go Ahmad if you've got him there, I think. But I do think Nkunku could do really well. Please support our podcast, Dad's Our Job podcast. There we go. Nico Williams for Robinson. Yeah, I don't mind Nico Williams and Ola Aina. They look like they're both relatively nailed on at the moment, and they could do very well for you. Absolutely no issues with them. I would go Ola Aina because he looks slightly more nailed. Gibbs White and Mikalenko or Eze and a 4 million defender. It depends on the rest of your team, but I don't love the idea of having too many 4 million defenders, so maybe Gibbs White and Mikalenko. Andre says Henderson, Trent, Smith Rowe, or Raya, Munoz, and Nkunku. Henderson, Trent, and Smith Rowe, probably, without seeing the rest of your team. Trent and Gordon versus Quansah and Son. Trent and Gordon. Trent and Gordon, I think. Greetings, Ross. What are your thoughts on my team? Henderson, Trent, Gabriel, Porro. Kamada's a lovely little pick in there. God, can you actually see the sun is destroying my eyeballs? Kamada, Gibbs White, Saka, Jota, Isaac Moniz, Haaland, bench of Barco, Smith Rowe, Robinson. What a lovely team. Yeah, I really like that. A few little different picks in there. Kamada and Gibbs White, I'm not seeing too many teams. Moniz is great. Really nice team overall. Big fan. Oh, I lost where I was. Christopher Bengtsberg has become a Rap Tier 2 member. Thank you very much, Christopher. I appreciate you. And Dean Influence, Rap Tier 1 member. Thank you very much. I have Gordon over Jota. Why do you think Jota is better? I think he's got a slightly higher upside, is all. And I think he's fitter for game week 1 and ready to go. Whereas Gordon, I think there's a chance Gordon doesn't start. I think he will start. There's a chance he doesn't. Oh my God. I'm going to bring the mic this way now. I can't begin to tell you how hot it is over here, chat. Trying to not melt in my chair. Plan to bring in Haaland, 2 moves max. Also, what do you do if he scores a hat-trick? I know we know he's capable, but what do you do? If Haaland scores 18 goals in game week 1, I don't bring in Haaland for game week 2. And that's genuine. Because what he does in game week 1 doesn't affect, as you say, what we know he can do. We know Haaland's capability. And also, him scoring goals in game week 1 doesn't make him any more or less likely to score in game week 2. Game week 2 is an independent event. I obviously understand that means that he's sharp and he's looking good and he's scoring goals. Great. He's in form, whatever. I don't think you should go without Haaland if him scoring goals in game week 1 is going to make you feel so sick that you have to knee-jerk him in for game week 2. So my answer is, I don't. I don't have Haaland until at least game week 4 or 5, maybe with an early wild card. If I realise I've really screwed it and Haaland is firing on all cylinders, well, in all honesty, I'd probably have to continue backing against him because at that point I'd be in big trouble. But I'd probably have to go for an early wild card. I think that's the reality of it, which I know, I'm aware of as well. I think it would require me 3 moves to get Haaland. It would be Salah, one of Trent or Jota downgraded, and then one of Isaac or Solanke up. Like, if I do Salah to Rodgers, that gives me 6.5 mil, is it? No. 7.5 mil. So that could give me enough to do Solanke. I could do it in 2 moves. Solanke and Salah to Rodgers and Haaland. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that, but there's the option there. Yeah, it's not too bad. Gvardiol and João Pedro or Porro and Eze. Oh, wow, AG. Porro and Eze for me. Nikolai Kakao. I've probably butchered your name. Nikolai. I'm going to go Nikolai. Thank you very much for being a Raptor 2 member. I do appreciate it. Is Watkins going to start? I've got no idea, but my natural instinct is yes, but I don't think he gets 90. And if he doesn't start, he's definitely getting at least 30. So he'll get minutes. If I've got 0.5 left, should I go for a second 4.5 goalkeeper so I can bench boost? No. No, I just keep the 0.5. Best 4.5 defender. For me, it's Robinson or Olarena are the two, my 2 favourites. There are loads of really good ones. Anderson, Konsa, Leif Davis. So many that I can't even think off the top of my head. But I think for me, Aina and Robinson are my favourite. Konsa is fine for Liverpool as well. Love you, bro. Feel alive now that you're back with the Premier League stream. So, do you know what I said to Pickle earlier as well? Is I'm more excited. Well, she said this as well, but we're more excited for the Premier League football to be back than the FPL. Like, it's been like I almost forget that FPL means the Prem's back because I'm so focused on the FPL deadline. It's like, yeah, Premier League football's back now. I love it. It's great. I've also I watch a lot of F1 as well, so I'm a bit sad because it's the summer break as well. So we've had no Premier League football. We've had no F1 as well. It's been disastrous. Hall or Aina? I think Hall's got higher upside for the first couple, but I think Aina's safer longer term, so I'd probably go for the Forest defender. Oh my goodness, my computer just completely froze. That wasn't good. Oh dear. It's because it's so hot at the moment in the UK and the sun is pounding our room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine how hot it is in this chair?
Yeah, I know.
With the sun and the light and yeah.
I might step away for a moment.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Go refresh yourself up. My room gets very hot and I have to shut the window because it's too loud outside, so it's probably not very pleasant to be in here. Gusto and Smith Rowe or Gvardiol and Winks and Nkunku and Gvardiol versus Trent and ESR. God, I'm a bit confused by your message. I'm going to choose to skip that because I've got no idea what's happening. Sorry. Trent and ESR sounds like a nice combination though, if that helps. Last question, Smith Rowe or Brereton Diaz? Brereton Diaz is definitely gone under the radar, but I still prefer Smith Rowe. Trent and Smith Rowe or Gvardiol and Nkunku? I still think Trent and Smith Rowe for me out of those. Yeah, for me, it's Trent and Smith Rowe. Have Raya, Trent, Porro, Mazraoui. What a pick. Get the boy in. I don't know if he'll start tonight, by the way, but if he does, I like Mazraoui. Salah, Saka, Fernandez, Eze, Moniz, Isak, and Solanke. You are definitely a Man United fan, aren't you? Having Mazraoui and Fernandez. It's a nice team. Yeah, no major issues with that. I genuinely do think Bruno is a fantastic pick. Mazraoui's a slight risk, but if he starts, and maybe we'll get team news before the game, then I like it a lot. Question for you. Why Nkunku and Solanke are not Bruno and Wood Moniz? Oh, don't tell me that. What? Listen, Andreas, what kind of... Andreas Pereira? Is that you? Andreas, what kind of question is that? Oh, chat, what do we think, actually? Nkunku and Solanke or Bruno and Wood Moniz? I think it's because I want Solanke is the answer to that question. But I do love Bruno. Do you know what? I'm going to run that poll right now. You've got me thinking. This is it. I love when a super chat gets me really thinking.
Can't lie, I think I'd rather have Fernandez.
Which do you prefer? I think I would go for... Would I go for Moniz or Wood? I mean, if I go for Moniz, I'd have two players tonight. It's make or break after the first night. Right, let me just type out either. So it would be Nkunku. I still think I prefer Nkunku and Solanke at the moment just. But yeah, it's tight, isn't it? Nkunku's going to let people down. In that case, then I do have this option, don't I? There you go, chat. I've just run a poll. The money doesn't work. Oh, does it not? I should have checked that, shouldn't I? I just assumed that person gave me... What would I need to do to make that work? Oh, sorry, my computer's lagging out a bit with the heat. Does it not work even remotely? I might have to delete that poll. I should have checked that myself. Fernandez. No, it does. Yeah, because I have the 0.5 in the bank. I think that guy took into account that I had the 0.5 in the bank. Yeah, it does work. But obviously, yeah, I guess the second option then with Bruno also costs 0.5 million more. Oh, I do like that, though. But I really have a good feeling about Solanke if he starts. I suppose there are doubts around whether he does start, though, eh? I'm actually going to watch the Nottingham Forest game tomorrow as well at the City Ground. So I quite like the idea of having Chris Wood. Oh, that's thrown a spanner in the works. Didn't even think about that combination. 59% of you currently on Nkunku and Solanke, 41% Fernandez and Wood. Yeah, maybe I still do just about prefer that option. By the way, guys, as I said, please do consider subscribing if you're enjoying the stream. I really do appreciate it. Anik says, hi, Raptor. Good to see you back. Thank you very much. Can you rate my team? Of course I can. Porro, Gvardiol, Quansah, Barco, Fass, Eze, Gordon, Nkunku, Salah, Luongo, Haaland, Isak, Moniz. Thanks and good luck this season. I would give it an 8.3. My concern is that you've got Barco and Fass and you're starting Quansah every week. I think that's a very... Especially because you've got a 4.5 forward on the bench as well. I just think that's an extremely cheap and weak bench. I would want to upgrade the bench slightly. I would downgrade one of Gordon or Eze and upgrade your bench a little bit. Or... What else could you do? I think that's the only place there. Maybe Nkunku you could downgrade. Downgrade one of those three midfielders and I would upgrade the bench slightly personally myself. Bruno and Ødegaard or Saka and Garnacho? Oh, wow. Bruno and Ødegaard probably. No. If I knew Garnacho was starting, Saka and Garnacho, but I don't, so therefore it's got to be Bruno and Ødegaard just for safety of minutes. Trent, Hall, Gibbs-White / Garnacho or Gabriel Quansah Jota? Gabriel Quansah Jota, probably. Is KDB being slept on? He's just not played enough pre-season minutes, and he only played like 1 minute in the Community Shield. So no, probably not. Mark Kennedy said, what are your thoughts on my team? Henderson, Gabriel, Anderson, Trent, Salah, Saka, Eze, Bruno, Wood, Solanke, Isak. Robinson and Tobido. Oh, really nice. Yeah, no major issues. It's a similar team to what I've got, but you've just got a slightly weaker weaker defense, I guess. And you've got Bruno in there. But yeah, it's nice. No issues. Bench boost game week 1, wildcard game week 2. Which Forest defender would you pick, or should I go Martinez? Ola Aina or Nico? Probably Nico Williams. I'd be tempted to go a little bit different and just go for Nico Williams. Yeah, why not? I think I would do that. Do you... Oh, sorry. That's where I was. Do you have wildcard plans with your cheap bench? My bench isn't that cheap. I've got Robinson on there, and I have 0.5 in the bench. So no, I'm not planning to wildcard. I just don't have an overly strong bench. Hey Ross, full team analysis, please. Of course, Raya, Saliba, Trent, Porro, Erdegaard, Kamada. I've done that one, haven't I? Or is that really similar to someone else's? No, I think it's just similar to someone else's, isn't it? Erdegaard and Kamada are really nice differentials. Muniz, Rogers, Munoz, Davis. I would just say your bench is way too expensive. You don't need that much squad depth. Yeah, I would probably downgrade a couple of your bench options and put the money into your starting 11. I'd see if you could get from Erdegaard to Saka, for example. Because if you could, that team would just be unbelievable. I do like the double Arsenal defence, by the way. That is really nice. Double Arsenal defence is under the radar. Mbeumo and Haaland or Salah and Watkins? I don't know that I'd want to start with Watkins right now. I think I'd want him in game week 3. So maybe Haaland and Mbeumo, honestly. Hey, mate. Huge love from Australia. Big love to Australia. Thank you very much. Smith Rowe and Guardiola or Eze and Quansah? I already own Trent and Porro. Probably Eze and Quansah then, honestly, mate. If you've already got 2 premium defenders, I'd probably go for Eze and Quansah. Is Caicedo a valid pick or am I off base here? You're off base. Sorry. Yeah, I don't think he's an FPL pick personally. Bruno and Rogers versus Gordon and Smith Rowe. Oh, wow. Probably Gordon and Smith Rowe, just about. I think Smith Rowe is a big upgrade on Rogers, so that's the only reason there. Is Salah injured? I bloody hope not. I probably should have built a Haaland draft that I was happy with just in case, but no, not that I know of. If he is, then I've made a big mistake. No, I've not seen anything. Obviously, if anything crops up in the next hour and a bit, I'll let you know. What are your thoughts on Palmer and Gordon? Yeah, they're both fine. I mean, they've both returned very late, obviously, from the Euros would be my main concern. Are we sleeping on Declan Rice as an Arsenal option? 10th highest scoring midfielder seems to be now on all corners. I don't think we're sleeping on him, but yeah, absolutely, he's a viable option. He's playing more as like an advanced number 8 rather than playing as number 6. Or not an advanced 8. He's playing as an 8, not an advanced 8. But he's not playing as a defensive midfielder. He's on all in-swinging corners. He's not on all corners, by the way. That's completely wrong because Saka takes in-swinging corners from the other side. But yeah, honestly, really good option. No issues. He does block an Arsenal slot, but he could be a great shout. I would say if you're someone that is looking to wildcard very late, I'd go for a Declan Rice. If you're trying to attack the immediate upside, he doesn't feel like he's got the highest ceiling. Move with Mike says, what do you rate my team? Henderson, Trent, Porro, Aina, Jota, Eze, Saka, Maddison, Haaland, Isak, Pedro, bench of Rogers, Robinson, Barco. I'll give it an 8.9. Obviously, I don't love the Maddison pick, but it's a nice punt if you want to go there. And I'm still a little bit hesitant on João Pedro, but it's nice that you've got Rogers that can come in for him if you want to. So yeah, I'm going to give it an 8.9. It would be in the 9s if you replace Maddison with Gordon or Nkunku or something like that, and you had a better option than Pedro for me. Pretty set on this, but do you have any last-minute tips? Sells, Munoz, Gabriel Porro, very nice. Eze, Diogo, Nkunku, Saka, Isak, Solanke, Haaland. My word, there is becoming a template, isn't there? Just really want Trent. Well, I don't blame you for wanting Trent, honestly. I fully appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I would want Trent as well, but the team's really nice, isn't it? It's not the end of the world if you don't have Trent when I think that the attack is that nice. I really like that as a team. No issues with me. Oh, lost where I was again. How does that keep happening? Eze and Winks or Nkunku and Rogers? I don't know. I prefer Eze, but Eze and Winks as long as you feel like you don't need the 8th attacker very often, I guess. Why not Heung-min Son? Well, you can't own everyone, can you? If I put Son in, it'll be why not Saka. If I had Haaland, it'd be why not Salah. If I have Trent, it'd be why not Gvardiol. You've just got to choose who you think, all right? It's impossible to own every player that you would want to own. Because number one, you'd need more than 15 positions, but you'd also need about 110 million. So there we go. Sadly, that's just the way that I've chosen to go. Predict the biggest upset this week. Honestly, Brentford beating Palace, I could see. I think we're all loading up on Palace. I've got Henderson and Eze. Some people have got Munoz, Henderson and Eze. I could see Brentford doing a job there. And maybe Chelsea upsetting City a little bit, considering their team isn't that strong. I mean, they looked pretty poor against United for large spells, honestly. I know we lost. Well, we technically drew. But we could have easily beat them if we were a better team. So, Yeah, maybe those two teams would be the biggest upsets, maybe. I don't know. Who do you think? Let me know. We have the same team toying Gordon over Eze. Yeah, Eze's on pens, and his minutes are more secure. If he stays at Palace, of course. I'm going to keep Eze, but yeah, there is a temptation to go for Gordon for sure. Jota and Minte or Nkunku and Bailey, both with 0.5. Jota and Minte for me. I like that. Very spicy. Sumac says, Bruno and Meniz or Son and a £4.5 million forward to get Son in. I already have Saka. That's so tough. Bruno and Meniz, I would go for. But it might be that you don't need the Meniz cover and in Son is better. I'd need to see the whole team. But for me, when I look at that, Bruno and Meniz. You've also means you've got two players tonight, which could be fun. Invictus says, hello, Ross. I've not really seen anyone with a team structure like mine. What are your thoughts? Okay. Henderson, Trent, Porro, Quansah, Bruno, Eze, Son, Salah, Bailey, Isak, Wood. Bench is Valdemarsson, Munoz, Meniz, and Robinson. I haven't seen... I mean, it's not that different. In fact, it's kind of fairly template. It's just you've got a bit more money invested on the defence, haven't you? And a little bit less in the forward position. I don't hate it, but I do wonder, is Solanke better than having Wood and Meniz? Because like, I could have Wood and Meniz, but I think I prefer Solanke as an option. You don't want to go too overboard with having loads of money on the defence. That's an extremely stacked bench. I'd be a little bit concerned about that. Michael says, I'm down to my team changing by 3 players for Salah or Haaland. Please pick between Salah, Solanke, Meniz, or Smith Rowe, Haaland, João Pedro. I've said this throughout the stream. Obviously, Salah, Solanke, Meniz looks better because you've got 2.5 more to spend on Solanke and Meniz. But yeah, if you want Haaland, go for Haaland. It just comes down to who you prefer. If you're asking who is the better trio, the Salah one, but Haaland is a better asset than Salah. So it's difficult. Starting Garnacho today, what are your opinions on the pick? Yeah, if he starts, it's great, but I just don't know if he's going to start. That's the only concern, isn't it? Solanke and Gordon or Havertz and Meniz? Oh, that is so tough. For me, Solanke and Gordon. Porro, Erdegaard and Gordon versus Udogi, Saka and Eze. Porro, Erdegaard and Gordon. I'd go Udogi, Saka and Eze. Porro, Rodgers and Meniz. Everyone's got I love it. Everyone's getting these 3 versus 3 combos they're choosing between. Porro, Rodgers and Meniz. Or Munoz, ESR and Wood. Porro, Rodgers and Meniz. Oh, that's a really tough one, that one. I would say Munoz, ESR and Wood for me. I do really like Munoz as a pick. I'm slightly jealous of people that have him, actually.
I feel the exact same way.
Yeah, I'd like to get him in. I mean, I could go for Raya and Munoz rather than Henderson and Gabriel. But then I'd be jealous of people that had Gabriel, so... Is Gordon playing? Gordon will play. I just don't know if he'll start. He's only played 45 minutes of preseason football. Eddie Howe did comment on that there are players that aren't quite back to full fitness. But do you remember that time where he was like, yeah, Gordon's barely trained. He's basically dead. The quotes were like, he's never going to play football. And he started and played 90 minutes in the game. And we were like, what happened there? Eddie Howe just... Well, sometimes he outright lies, but he also conceals information. So I don't really trust Eddie Howe. I think Gordon starts, but I don't think he gets more than 65 to 70 mins, would be my guess. Hi, Ross. Can you rate my team? Henderson, Mikalenko, Byrne, Quansah, Salah, Saka, Nkunku, Garnacho, Haaland, Isak, Pedro. Rodgers and Robinson on the bench. Yeah, lovely team. Maybe I would go an 8 out of 10 because my only concern is I don't love how cheap that defense is. I know you've got Haaland and Salah, but you're starting 3 4.5s every week. Mikalenko, Byrne, Quansah. On top of that, I don't think Byrne and Quansah are great 4.5s, especially Byrne. I personally would lose. I think you have to lose. Wait, where is all your money? I don't mean that in a rude way. You've got loads of cheap options, but I guess you've got Haaland, Isak, Salah, and Saka, I guess. Unless you've missed off a player here. I'm wondering where... Yeah, I would maybe have to downgrade Saka then and get a better defence. I think that defence is too weak for me. If you want to have a look, I released a Salah and Haaland draft a few days ago. I would probably go for that. Obviously, because that's why I uploaded that draft. Worried Salah drops off. Haaland 2. pricey. My 8 attackers are Nkunku, Eze, Saka, Bruno, Son, Isak, and Solanke. Muniz, same defense as yours. Yeah, it's really nice, mate. I don't have any major issues with it. Salah and Haaland are great, but you could definitely go without both of them. It's an absolutely fine team, and you've got nice differentials like Bruno and Son in there now. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I am a big fan. No major issues. Thoughts? Henderson, Trent, Hall, Robinson, Quansah, Mo, Saka, and Kunku, ESR, Haaland, and Isak. Is Mo Martin Erdegaard rather than Mo Salah? It must be, because that team wouldn't be affordable otherwise. Yeah, it's a really nice team. Really nice. Honestly, most of the teams that you guys are sending me, I have no major issue with. It just comes down to personal preference, doesn't it, for a lot of the players? I'll obviously highlight, if there are some big issues, I'll highlight them, but why did you go Greaves instead if a back, he's centre back? I don't understand the question. Just is it because he's a centre back? I think he's nailed and he's decent from set pieces. You could potentially go for Johnson, but Johnson's not nailed. I spoke to 3 Ipswich fans and they all gave the exact same number of 90%. They said Johnson is 90% nailed. And in the week that I have to rely on a 4 million, I don't want him to be on the bench. So I've gone for Greaves as a result. Hey Ross, Muniz and Henderson or Riot and Barco? I mean, when you look at it like that, Muniz and Henderson. Oh, do you mean Munoz? That should be, shouldn't it? Yeah, because you're looking at defenders. Still Munoz and Henderson, I think. I wouldn't want to rely on a 4 million. If any of you are relying on a 4 million defender, then I think you're doing it wrong. I think you need to have a 4.5 if you're relying on them week after week. There aren't any good enough 4s for me. Hi again, Ross. Hello, mate. How are you? My team, Henderson, Porro, Trent, Barco, Saka, Bruno, Diaz, Kamada, Haaland, Isak, Porro. I picked Kamada because he's played brilliantly under Glasner in Frankfurt. I like that as a shout. I haven't seen your bench, but if you are starting Barco every week, then I don't like it. Otherwise, if you've got a 4.5 like Robinson to come on, then I have no issue. Shazam says, no reason to message, just wanted to celebrate my 12-month anniversary of being part of the Egg community. Keep up the great work, Ross. Thank you so much. Not only are you a member, but you also donate money every single bloody live stream, which you should stop doing, but I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Shazam. I appreciate you being here. Bench Gvardiol or Barco? That's a great question. Is anyone actually benching Gvardiol for Barco? I'd be tempted now. I really would, because of the issues that are associated with Gvardiol. And Barco, he's got to start game week 1. So yeah, I would absolutely, if I had Barco, be tempted to start him instead of Gvardiol. Can you explain your bench picks? Yes. Robinson rotates really well with Pedro Porro. So Robinson is there instead of Porro. Sorry, not instead of, but to rotate with Porro. Greaves has really nice fixtures from game week 5 and he's nailed on for Ipswich. And apparently they will be aiming for Greaves from set pieces, which is good because he might get the odd goal. And Cannon is there just because he's a 4.5 forward that isn't highly owned and he's not going to probably drop in price. Also, they don't have that much cover, Leicester, in the forward position, so Cannon could get some minutes. I'm not picking him expecting it, but it's not out the question that Cannon gets a combined 20 minutes this season. Ross, Flecken, Trent, Gvardiol, Gabriel, Salah, Saka, Eze, and Kunku Smith Rowe. Yeah, very template. Solanke, Wood, and Isak. Confused between getting Jota for Smith Rowe or stick with Wood. I see what you mean. Do you want to have the 8 attackers? I think Smith Rowe and Wood are really nice. I've obviously gone for the more aggressive approach of having a strong starting 11, but I really also love the idea of having a bit more squad depth. So it really comes down to what you want to do, personally. Haaland, no Salah. Bin one of Jota, Gordon, Solanke. I'd bin Gordon, honestly. Gordon and Salah or Son and Palmer. Ooh. Son and Palmer is spicy. I'd be tempted by Son and Palmer. But I mean, I've obviously gone for a Jota and Salah at those price tags. Would you play Porro or Chris Wood? I mean, you can't bench either of those. If you're benching either of those, then you've gone too deep with your squad. Brought in Porro and removed Guardiola last minute, going without Haaland. I think you've got your squad's too deep if you're making that decision. Like, who is your back 3 if you're having to bench Porro? I don't have any idea. Guardiola, Gibbs White / Garnacho or Munoz Jota? Probably Munoz Jota. Udogie and Trent versus Van Dijk and Porro. Udogie and Trent for me. Yeah, I'd go Udogie and Trent. Hey Raptor, happy new season, thank you. I'm tempted to replace Trent with Quansah to upgrade Muniz to Solanke. No, I probably prefer Trent and Muniz, to be honest. Gvardiol or White? Ben White's a shout, honestly. Everyone's ignoring Ben White because he's a little bit more expensive, obviously, but he could do really well. Charles says, what are your thoughts, Ross, on Henderson, Valdemarson, Trent, Gabriel, Porro, same backline as me, Robinson, Barco, basically the same as me, Saka, Nkunku, Eze, Salah. Okay, so you've got the exact same team as me, basically, but you've gone Havertz, I've gone Jota. It's lovely. Havertz could definitely outscore Jota. I think if the fixtures were slightly better for Arsenal than they are, I would probably go for Havertz instead of Jota, but I just think I prefer the Liverpool fixtures. Rodgers, a £4.5 million mid and 0.5 in the bank, or Rashford, Rodgers, and nothing in the bank, or Gordon and a 4.5 mid, nothing in the bank. Oh, God. Probably Rashford and Rodgers. Havertz versus Watkins just for game week 1. Havertz. Would you go Raya, Porro, and João Pedro, or Henderson, Gabriel, and Muniz? Henderson, Gabriel, and Muniz for me. Just about Halim, I would go that way. A good 5 million defender better than Konsa that's not Munoz. 5 mil defender. You doggy? If it's not Munoz, probably you doggy. I mean, Maatsen, if he starts, could be good if you wanted a Villa defender. I think Munoz is the best, but if you're not going Munoz, probably you doggy's the only other 5 that I'd really be considering. You could go for like a Diogo Dalot, but I wouldn't be going there myself. Gusto maybe deserves a shout. Hello, Gusto. Yeah, you could go Romero if you wanted to. Welcome back, Ross. Is this your final team? I mean, we've got an hour till the deadline, so not final, but yeah, I've not changed anything for a little while. This team has 0.5 million in the bank, by the way, if you're watching right now. By the way, if you've not yet subscribed, please do consider subscribing. It really does support the channel, and I appreciate it more than you know. So yeah, if you've not yet subscribed, which a lot of the people in the chat haven't done, please do consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, normally about 20 to 30% of the people that watch the streams don't subscribe. So if all of you subscribed, we'd have an extra couple of thousand subscribers, which would be massive. So do consider it. Right, let me get back to where I was. Henderson, Van der Ven. Well, I don't love Van der Ven or Quansah or Hall. I'm not a big fan of that defence. But Salah, Fernandes, Eze, Hudson-Odoi, Haaland, Wood, Isak. Bench of Smith Rowe, Harwood, Bellis, Robinson. Rating out of 10. I'm going to go like quite harsh at like 6. Just because that is an awful defence, I think. Not only are you starting 3 4.5s, but Van der Ven doesn't have any attacking threat. Quansah and Hall are rotation risks. And then your bench, you've got Robinson. If you change the 4.5s, I could push it up to a 7, but I still feel like that's a really imbalanced team. Like, if you look at my team, I know I don't have Haaland, but look at that back line in comparison to Van der Ven, Quansah, and Hall. I'd probably downgrade one of Salah, Haaland, or Fernandes and put a bit of money into that defence myself. Munoz, Hall, Barco, or Mikalenko, Hall, Robinson. So it's Munoz and Barco or Mikalenko and Robinson. I'd go for Mikalenko and Robinson, and they also rotate very nicely. Saliba and Porro or Trent and Robinson. I own Quansah. Probably Saliba and Porro then. Just about. Bruno, Jota, Saka, Murphy, Rodgers, Haaland, Isak, Muniz is my 8 attackers. Or Jota, Saka, Son, Murphy, Rodgers, Haaland, Isak, and a 4.5 forward. I don't think you want to rely on Rodgers every week, so I'm going to go for the 8 attackers option. Sumac? Yeah, I think I would go for the one where you've got the option to rotate him out. Porro and Muniz or João Pedro and Gvardiol/Gabriel. Excellent preseason content, by the way. Thanks a million, Egg. I loved the preseason content this year, even more than last year, so thank you very much. Porro and Muniz or João Pedro and Gvardiol Gabriel. I'd go Porro and Muniz myself. Porro and Muniz, yeah. Mohammed says, Porro, Barco, Trent, Saka, Nkunku, Gordon, Salah, Jota, Isak, Muniz. My bench is Pedro, Robinson, and Harwood Bellis. 2.5 in the bank to move early. Cool, that's a beautiful team for 2.5. My only concern is, I guess you've got Barco, but you've got Robinson on the bench, so maybe it's not a massive concern. Wow. Building that team and having 2.5 in the bank. Fair play, I love it. Yeah, no issues, Mohammed. Really like it. Gabriel, Quansah, ESR, Wood, or Trent, Quansah, Rodgers, and Pedro. Gabriel, Quansah, ESR, Wood. Oh, God, guys, you're giving me some absolute dilemmas here. I would say Gabriel, Quansah, ESR, Wood. Because I don't like the 3 players that you've coupled with Trent. So, yeah, I'd say the first option, Kronulian. Sorry for butchering your name. Smith Rowe, Pedro, or Rodgers, Muniz. Oh, Rodgers, Muniz. How nailed is Jota? Haaland, Saka, Eze, Jota, Gordon. I would say Jota's very likely to start game week 1, but beyond that, he's not nailed. If you're picking Jota expecting him to start every week, don't pick him. Pick someone like an Anthony Gordon instead. Porro, Saliba, Trent, Eze, Saka, Salah, ESR, Solanke, Wood, Isak. Okay. Yeah, it's a very standard team, but I love it. It's probably like the strongest Salah draft you could build, I would say. It's very similar to mine. I suppose you've just got... What is the difference here? I suppose you've got ESR, Wood, whereas I just have Solanke. So you've gone for a little bit more squad depth, because you've got Nkunku as well. I've gone for a stronger starting 11, I suppose. Should I get a 4.5 instead of Munoz? I think considering you've got Porro, Saliba, Trent, maybe just do Munoz to Anderson if you still want to cover the Crystal Palace defence. Maybe that's the best option. Trent and Porro or Gvardiol and Gabriel? Oh, wow. Probably Trent and Porro. Yeah, probably Trent and Porro for the attacking threat. Munoz to 2 4.5s. Double Palace defence scary. Gusto. No, I still think go for Munoz. I wouldn't be worried about double Palace defence. I think there'll be a very good defence again this season, honestly. What is the issue with Gvardiol, Porro to Gvardiol? There's no issue with Gvardiol. I might still go for him, potentially. It's just there's doubts around whether he'll play every single minute. Rodri's not available for game week 1. Walker's probably not going to start, which means that Rico Lewis will play the more advanced role. Gvardiol will be playing as like more of a centre-back. There are just a few issues associated with Gvardiol, and I love Pedro Porro's opening fixture from an attacking perspective, so that's why I'm there at the moment. And he's also 0.5 cheaper. Thoughts on Maddison, Ross? Not for me. He could do well, but we've not seen... In pre-season, he's not been great. Vignesh says, Henderson, Porro, Barco, Munoz, Robinson, Harwood, Bellis, Son, Jota, Louise, Gordon, Solanke, Isak, Haaland. I assume that's Jota and Louise. Is that supposed to be Luis Diaz? Potentially? If it's Luis Diaz, I don't mind that double up. I'm not a massive fan of how cheap that defence is outside of Porro and Munoz. Like having Harwood, Bellis and Barco, it feels a little cheap. So I wonder if you could do something else slightly there, maybe, potentially. Welcome back, Egg. Just got here. What have I missed? I don't think anything major. I've just been answering people's questions, I guess. So yeah, nothing major, Kieran, but thank you for being here. Munoz and Muniz. Okay, that's a tongue twister. Or Solanke and Barco. Munoz and Muniz. I don't like the idea of relying on Barco every single week. Or even not relying on him for some weeks. I just wouldn't rely on 4 million defenders. Frosty says, mulling it over dinner, I still like Jota. I think this is the week he gets the mins, if any. When are you putting your Haaland team in? Aren't you risking servers going down now? Don't you start, honestly, for God's sake. If you have a feeling about Jota captain, you've been right before with that kind of thing, go for it. I also think you've definitely been wrong with that kind of thing before. But no, I think Jota captain's fine. I just do think that he's not going to get more than 60 to 70 mins. Gakpo will come off the bench. Luis Diaz will come off the bench. Darwin will come off the bench. Elliott will come off the bench. They've got so many options to bring on. I just don't see Jota getting more than 65, 70 mins. So that's why I wouldn't want to captain him. But could Jota score 2 in the first half? Absolutely. So you might not need 90 minutes. But equally, if I'm watching that game at 12:30 and Liverpool get off to a slow start and it's like 1-0 or 0-0 at 60 minutes, I'd be sweating as a Jota captain. Now, could Salah be subbed off early? Absolutely. We don't know what Slot's going to do. He's not Klopp. So Salah's minutes might not be as secure as we think, but I'd be surprised if Salah comes off before Jota. Maybe he will. Hey, can you rate this midfield and forward combo? Salah, thank you for the super chat, by the way, Frosty, I appreciate it. Can you rate this midfield and forward combo? Salah, Saka, Jota, Son, Eze, Muniz, Isak. Love it. Can I rate it? 9.5. It's beautiful. I've got no issues with any of those players. I love all of them. It's very similar to my own. You've just got Muniz in there and Son, which is really nice. Yeah, I've got no issues at all with that. Really, really good. Oh, I'd kind of like Son. I did try and get Son into my team yesterday. I was playing around with it, and it just led to me. I tried to get Son instead of Jota, and then I had to downgrade Solanke to Wood, and then I had to find an extra one. It was just starting to get to like too many downgrades. And do I think Son is that much better than Jota? Not worth it for me. Is Kulusevski too risky? Strong preseason and multiple positions. I almost feel like Kulusevski playing multiple positions is an issue because Son's first choice on the left. Brennan Johnson may well be first choice right wing. Solanke through the centre, and Maddison's probably the better 10. So Kulusevski being good in all of the positions makes me think that he could start on the bench because he can come on for any of them. Hey Ross, what are your thoughts on Bowen? Yeah, it could do really well. I don't love the opening fixtures for West Ham, but no one is speaking about Bowen. Talk about a differential in terms of engaged managers. I've not seen a single draft with Jared Bowen. So yeah, absolutely. Hi Raptor, good luck for the new season. Thank you, Louis. I appreciate it. What do you think about Fernandes and Muniz over in Nkunku and Solanke? We spoke about this. We spoke about this not long ago, if you've just joined, Louis. I did Fernandes and... actually, isn't the poll still going? I think that poll might still be there. Let me check to make sure the poll's still there. Oh, why is my computer being free? Okay, my computer's frozen. Hopefully the chat's... Yeah, the stream's still going. That's fine. Yeah, we've got a poll going at the moment. Nkunku and Solanke or Fernandez and Wood/Maniz. 67% of people preferring Nkunku and Solanke. Probably because that's what their team looks like. I think it's very close. I'm just about preferring Nkunku and Solanke, but I do think that's a very close combo. Why Gabriel over Gvardiol? I've spoken about Gvardiol so much in this stream, I don't want to repeat myself, but I just trust the Arsenal defence, basically, and I like Gabriel's attacking threat. Interest in Murphy. If I needed a 5.5, Murphy would be in my top 3. I think it's probably like Smith Rowe, Minte, and then like Murphy, Brereton, Diaz. They'd be my top 4 5.5s. So yeah, I like Murphy. Hi, Baldy. What are your thoughts on Fulkrug? As soon as he starts getting regular minutes, I just don't know if he will in Game Week 1. I think he will. Fulkrug will be a really nice option. I can guarantee at some point this season I'll consider Fulkrug. Absolutely. He's a top forward. So yeah, I will consider. Not for Game Week 1 for me, though. Bruno, Havertz, Smith Rowe, or Saka, Maniz, and Nkunku, one on the bench. Saka, Maniz, and Nkunku, just. Hi, Ross, and best of luck for the new season. Thank you, Victor. Question, Jota, Pedro, Konsa, or Eze, Maniz, Quansah? Quansah. Wish you all the best of the season. Thank you for all the support. I prefer the Eze, Maniz, and Quansah combination myself. Sorry if the stream cut out for a little bit. The chat we just dropped out briefly. Henderson, Trent, Porro, Robinson, Gibbs, White, and Nkunku, Smith Rowe, Salah, Solanke, Haaland, Isak, 4 million keeper, Barco, Sangari, Harwood, Bellis. I don't love how weak the bench is, but the starting 11 is really nice. That's a Haaland Salah draft with it. Do you know what, Liam? Maybe it doesn't matter as much because if you're going for Salah and Haaland, you need to try and make sure that your starting 11 isn't compromised too much, and that starting 11 is super strong. Wow, I really like that team. You don't have an Arsenal attack would be my only concern. In fact, you don't have an Arsenal player. But if you expect Arsenal to struggle with the early fixtures, then maybe it's okay. Jackie Chan says Palmer and Mikalenko and Wood, or Nkunku and Trent and Solanke. Probably Wood. Sorry, Nkunku, Trent and Solanke for me. I really wanted Palmer, but I think it's too much for sacrifice. Yeah, that's what I think when I look at those two options, mate. But if you've got a feeling about the worst thing would be if Palmer smashes it now and you wish you'd have chosen him. If you've got like this niggling feeling that Palmer's going to do really well, go for the first option. But for me, that second option is stronger. For the 8th attacker, Hudson-Odoi and Van Dijk or Winks and Trent. Depends on who your other 7 attackers are, but in isolation, I say Winks and Trent because I think Trent's a massive upgrade on Van Dijk. Gabriel, Gvardiol or Saliba. Appreciate the content. Big love from Sydney. 2:30 and I'm sweating. Believe me, I'm also sweating. I would say Gabriel, Gvardiol, Saliba. I like Gabriel. Gabriel's in my team, as you can see, so I'd say Gabriel. Could you rate my bench boost? Pope, Flecken, Quansah, Hall, White, Saliba, Barco, Diaz, Jota, Rashford, Semenyo, and Nkunku, Solanke, Haaland, Isak. That's a very nice bench boost. I think pretty much all of those players I'd expect to start. There are a few doubts, like does Barco definitely start? We think so. Luis Diaz, chance he doesn't start, but I think he will. Rashford definitely will. Quansah and Hall. I mean, as a Game Week 1 bench boost goes, love it. Longer term, that team is a bit risky, so you might need to wildcard out of that quite soon. But yeah, I'm going to give it, as far as a bench boost goes, I'm going to give it a 9.2, Lewis, out of 10. Love the stream. Start 2 out of the following 3. Barco, Hall, Rogers. I feel like you should start Hall, and I feel like you should start Rogers as the attacker. But West Ham, I think, might defend quite well this season. I would start Hall and Rogers and bench Barco there. Max says Raya and Dallo or Onana and Porro. Honestly, maybe Onana and Porro. Feels like higher upside. Also, Hall/Anderson, both only for Game Week 1. If it's only for Game Week 1, definitely Lewis Hall. If it's beyond that a little bit, just as some backup, then maybe Anderson. But yeah, but for now, I'd say Lewis Hall just for Game Week 1. Yeah, 34 months you've been a member, Max. Thank you so much for the support over these years. What about Smodix? I've definitely been... I honestly have no idea. I know he scored tons of goals. It was for Blackburn, wasn't it, in the Championship? I don't even know how to pronounce his name, which tells you how little I know about him. So I'll do some research for the next stream. But I know that he scored a ton of goals. He was the top scorer, wasn't he, in the Championship last season? But Armstrong was fantastic in the Championship, so I'd maybe even prefer him, especially as he'll definitely be on pens. Well, we think he'll be on pens anyway. Smith Rowe, Wood, and Son. Oh, sorry, I lost where I was. Give me a second. AO what? Wait, what did I say? Did I say something sus? Probably, no me. Chat, there is only 45 minutes to the deadline. Those 2 hours have flown by. Jesus. Smith Rowe, Wood, and Son to Parma. Sorry, Smith Rowe, Wood, and Son to Parma game week 2, or Eze, Nkunku, and Solanke. Probably Eze, Nkunku, and Solanke, mate. Is a midfield of Salah, Saka, Eze, Gibbs White, and Smith Rowe weak? Allows me to have a strong defence and fed. M.U. Niz. What on earth is happening here? Oh, defence and forward. Mani, Solanke, Isak, Trent, Gabriel, Gvardiol. Is that weak? Gibbs White, Salah, Saka, Eze, and Smith Rowe. No, that looks like a crazy midfield. Team looks good, yeah. Lake of the Space Dog, I like it. David says Henderson, Burn, Saliba, Trent, Saka, Gordon, Jota, Salah, Bailey, Solanke, Isak. Please rate out of 10. I'm going to go an 8 out of 10 for you, David. Burn would be my concern. If you get rid of Burn, I would make it a 9 with Robinson or Ola Aina or someone like that. A better 4.5 defender, and that becomes a 9 out of 10. Khan says Henderson, Pickford, Porro, Gabriel, Trent, Robinson, Barco, Salah, Eze, Jota, and Kunku, Smith Rowe, Isak, Solanke, Maniz. Similar-ish to my team. Don't love Barco as a pick myself, but you don't have to play him really at all because you've got Porro, Gabriel, Trent, Robinson. 2.5 in the bank as well. Oh, I suppose you do have Smith Rowe and Maniz. I'd be tempted to upgrade Maniz to Solanke or something if you have... Oh, no, you've got Solanke. Maybe Smith Rowe up to like a Gordon or an Eze could work. I know you've got Eze. It's just a good team. Maybe try and get Smith Rowe up to Bruno would be a decent shout, but you'd have to find an extra 0.5. If you have to start one of Maniz or Smith Rowe, I think it would be Maniz for me. I think I'd probably want you to start Maniz. I think he's got greater goal threat. Lazy FPL says Ahmad starts. Okay, I'll get back to answering your questions in a second. Let me double check that. I wondered if we'd get team news. Nice. Lazy FPL. No, lazy. The team leaks have started again. Oh my God, chat, can you see how much my computer is dying in the heat? I'm surprised it's still going, to be honest. If the stream does randomly cut out, my computer is overloaded. Ahmad starts. Wow. Okay, so you've got a 5 million option there. I think there's a chance Garnacho still starts, by the way. It could be Garnacho on the left, Rashford as the 9, and Ahmad on the right. Or it could potentially be Bruno through the centre, Rashford on the left, Ahmad on the right, and Garnacho could be on the bench. Ahmad starts. There we go. God, my computer is dying. I can hear Pickle having a snack back there. You've just been exposed. I can hear her rustling around having a snack over there. I've never heard anything quite so loud in my life. You got big something. Asks, if you're trying to win manager of the month in a mini league, what should your game week 1 11 be? Wildcard in game week 2, so no need to think further than game week 1. Well, I think you go triple Liverpool, you go triple Newcastle, and you go triple Spurs. I'd attack those 3 fixtures. So I'd have Solanke, Son, Porro. I'd have Salah, Jota, Trent. And I'd have Isak, maybe Murphy and Lewis Hall or something like that. And then build your squad around that. Krista and Jeffrey Motolo have become Rap Tier 1 members, I suppose, combined. Because that is 2 people. Thank you very much for being a Rap Tier 1 member. I appreciate it. Tyler says, hey, Ross, hope you're doing well. Can you rate my team? Of course I can. That's what I'm here for. My watch is telling me to move. I've got a Fitbit on and it's telling me I need to do some movements. Oh, no, chat, the camera's gone. If you're wondering, no, I didn't fully replace the camera, but it was doing better, wasn't it? Listen, it's part of the charm of the channel. I don't want complaints here. I'm just going to reset my camera and we'll be back at it in a second. Your team is Henderson, Porro, White. I like the Ben White pick a lot. Trent Nkunku, Eze, Smith Rowe, Salah, Solanke, Isak, bench of Wood, Robinson, Barco, Flecken. I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10, mate. It's a beautiful team. No major issues at all. Is there going to be a meetup this season, says Max? I will be doing a meetup in Nottingham this season, absolutely. But it will not be for the next few weeks because I need to settle into my busy life a little bit more. And then, yeah, I will absolutely consider doing a meetup soon in Nottingham. I should just say there are regular meetups in London. So if you're based in London, just check out the FPL community. There's always stuff going on for meetups in London. But in terms of Nottingham, I'll plan one soon. Is the camera going to work after one? Yeah, there it is. Bang. With your 0.5, why not upgrade to Pickford? I think Henderson's as good as Pickford. I don't think Pickford feels like a massive upgrade for me. I really want to cover the Palace defence, so I like Henderson. I wanted Palmer, so Palmer and Erdegaard and Eze and Longstaff and Salah, or Udogi, Gvardiol, Mikalenko and Saliba and Robinson / Watkins and Isak. That is so many things to think about there, Lucas. If you want Palmer, I'd go for the Palmer option. I know that's a silly thing, an obvious thing to say. If you want a player, get that player. There is nothing worse than going into Game Week 1 where you wanted a player and you decided not to go for said player and they smash it. Obviously, you can't own everyone you want, but there has to be some level of you just saying, if there's a player I really want, I'll get him in. Which defence do you prefer? Gabriel, Hall, Quansah, Gvardiol, Konsa. So you've got Quansah and Konsa. Or Gabriel, Hall, Quansah, Porro and Robinson. So your choices are Gvardiol and Konsa or Porro and Robinson. I prefer Porro and Robinson. Does your strategy change if mini-leaguers are head-to-head in lieu of classic? If you're only playing for your mini-league, maybe, but not really, because you can't predict who you're going to come up against. So no, I would go for the same strategy. Isak, Solanke, Watkins, Salah, Son, Nkunku, Diaz, Rodgers, Trent, Porro, Mikalenko, Fass, Harwood, Bellis, Henderson are formerly in goalkeeper. I'm thinking of changing Diaz and Henderson for Eze and Pickford. What are your thoughts? I would change Diaz to Robertson. Sorry, Robertson? Jota. I don't know if I said Robertson. To Jota, and I would go for Henderson in goal still. So no, I wouldn't go to Eze and Pickford. I'd go to Jota and keep Henderson. But I do like Eze and Pickford as options. I've got my doubts around Luis Diaz because there are rumours of him maybe leaving, and also I just think Jota's got greater goal threat. Hey, FPL boss man, Havertz and Gordon or Maniz and Saka? Jesus, that rapper. I would go for Maniz and Saka myself, probably. But I think both are really strong combinations. Hey, Ross, rate my team. Henderson, Munoz, Trent, Gabriel, Rodgers, Jota, Nkunku, Saka, Haaland, Solanke, Isak, Barco, Robinson, Sangare. What would I rate that team? I'm going to go for an 8.6 out of 10. Because it's got Haaland, not joking. Maybe it's even higher than that. It's not the weakest bench, but it's not the strongest bench. You've got most things covered. I don't love Rodgers. Especially, do you know what? I'm going to say 8.6 because you've got to start Rodgers or Sangare every week, which I'm not a massive fan of. But other than that, it is a really nice team. I've got no huge major issues with it, I wouldn't say. Chat, we've got just over half an hour until the deadline. Do make sure you get your teams locked in. By the way, if you have not yet checked out Fantasy United, please do consider doing so. Just very briefly, there is a new Manchester United fantasy football game, and the deadline is in 36 minutes. So even the next 30 minutes, you've got some free time, and you are a Man United fan in particular. If you enter my mini league and create a team before the Game Week 1 deadline, you can be in the chance to win VIP tickets and also signed jerseys as well. So if you are a Man United fan, I would absolutely consider joining Fantasy United. There is a link in the description or a link in the chat that is pinned. And I will be playing throughout the season and trying to win, not just in my mini league. There are some insane prizes if you do well overall. So definitely check it out, especially those of you who are watching that are Manchester United fans. But yeah, this is my team at the moment. This team does have 0.5 in the bank, absolutely. So I could spend that in the next little bit, but I don't feel like I need to spend it. I did not think I'd be going into the season with money in the bank, though. The only reason for the money in the bank is simply just because I built a team that I loved with Gvardiol, and I now think I might want Porro instead. That's all it is, and I don't feel the need to spend the extra 0.5. I am tempted to go for like Ola Aina rather than Greaves and just have a slightly stronger, deeper bench. And the more I think about it, the more I am tempted to do that. Chat, can I have your opinion? The 7,000 people watching, make sure to subscribe. Would you prefer, so I've got this team with 0.5. Would you prefer me upgrading Greaves to another 4.5 defender to have better squad depth? Or would you prefer me having 0.5 in the bank? I could also do Cannon to Archer, by the way. And it's a similar situation there. This is the point in the stream where I say anyone that super chats, I can't confirm that it will be answered because the deadline is getting closer and closer. So anyone that super chats from here, I will try my best, but there's no guarantee. Also, if you have just joined, Ahmad starts. We've had confirmation that Ahmad starts, courtesy of Lazy FPL. So if you were hoping that Ahmad starts, maybe go for him. Do you know what then? Very briefly, guys. Sorry. Do you know what I'm going to do? I've got an ultra rare version of Ahmad in Fantasy United. Oh, my computer almost crashed then doing that. I'm going to go for Ahmad here, very briefly. Don't mind me. Ahmad, add player to squad. Done. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to go for Ahmad in there. Anyway, back to FPL. I just wanted to switch to Ahmad now that I know that he's starting. You don't need the squad depth. Yes, better with squad depth. You don't need the squad depth. Ola Reina, what a goal. Oh, no, you're both telling me such different stuff. Sorry, guys. It's actually not my internet for once. It's my computer's overheating, I think, a little bit. Jesse Lewis says, please rate Martinez, Gvardiol, Trent Concert, Eze, Saka, Jota, Nkunku, Salah, Solanke, Isak, and Valdemarsson, Barco, Harwood, Bellis, Moniz on the bench. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I'm just not a massive fan of Concert. I think you can do better than Concert right now for me. But outside that, I think it's really good. Especially as you've got Emi Martinez. Unless you're a Villa fan, I don't know why you'd want to double up on the Villa defence. Hi, Ross. Henderson, Trent, Porro, Livramento, Saka, Palmer. Nice to see him. And KDB. And Bruno. Okay, there's no Saka and there's no Haaland. I don't like no Saka Haaland, and I don't love the weak bench. So I would downgrade one of Palmer, KDB, Bruno, or Saka and just upgrade the bench slightly. But I really like that team. It's very different, and I'm a big fan. Minte for a 2-week punt before going to Bailey. I'd just start with Bailey. I don't think Minte's fixtures are that much better than Bailey's. Son, Smith Rowe, and Moniz, or Solanke and Kunku and Jota. Solanke and Kunku and Jota. Linus says, please rate Raya, Trent, Gvardiol, Smith Rowe, Saka, Jota, Haaland, Solanke, Isak. Looks fairly template. I'll give it like a 9. I don't love the weak bench though. You like to play that way. Could do Gvardiol to Porro and upgrade, but unsure. I would do Gvardiol to Porro and upgrade your bench. But if you're telling me you like to play with a weak bench, I would rather you play the way you want to play. So there's no issue. If you're happy with the risks associated, then go for it. Eze versus Jota, if Jota and Trent are my only Liverpool cover. Oh, I think I do prefer Jota in Game Week 1, but longer term, if Eze stays at Palace, I think Eze's a better asset than Jota. So it's up to you. Dan says, good to have you back, Ross. Quansah and Kunku Solanke, or Trent Smith Rowe Moniz. Or squeeze Salah in there for a combination of them minus Jota. I tell you what, when I look at that, I kind of feel like Trent Smith Rowe Moniz, but it is double Fulham attack then. Maybe Trent Smith Rowe and Wood to diversify a little bit. Anderson versus Dunk versus Aina as a starting 4.5 defender. For me, Ola Aina would be the one there. Jota, Ahmad, Moniz, or Wood, Smith Rowe, and Eze. I still think Wood, Eze, and Smith Rowe for me. Hi, Ross. What are your thoughts on Henderson, Gabriel, Porro, Trent, Gordon, Saka, Eze, Soboslai, Smith Rowe, Haaland, Isak? I'm not a massive Soboslai fan, but he should start the season as the 10, so he's okay. And I guess you could always move him on to someone after that. I tell you what, it's nice. It's a very template team, but you've got a couple of spicier picks in there. So, do you know what? I'm not going to put you off Soboslai, and hopefully he does well for you. Hi, Ross. Do you have any suggestions? Sells, Flecken. Okay, fine with the keepers. You've got some cover if Sells isn't the number one. Saliba, Porro, Anderson. Johnson and Harwood Bellis feels a bit weak on the defence, especially as you have to start Rodgers. I really like the Rashford pick. I don't have an issue with that team at all, Mark, but I would go a little bit more expensive on the bench. I guess you don't have to start Rodgers every week, do you? But Johnson and Harwood Bellis feels a little weak to me. I like having a 4.5 defender on the bench, as you can tell. Swap Greaves for Leif Davis if you can. I did think about this, guys, but I won't be starting him ever. Right, I'm going to start Gabriel and Trent pretty much every week. And when Porro's got a bad fixture, I can play Robinson. Imagine spending all pre-season researching and planning and having Gvardiol, then last minute panicking about Rodri not playing and switching to Porro. Could never be me, Frosty. I've always said Porro's a great option, though. I've been saying that for weeks. I've seen enough now. I was hoping Rodri would be maybe back or Walker would be back. And also, I've seen two of the City accounts that I trust most, FPL Main Road and... Oh my God, what's the other guy's name? Two of the City accounts that I do predictions, they don't have Gvardiol, and that worries me. And two of them, they're both City fans as well. Like, if Gvardiol was that great of an option, would you not expect City fans to have Gvardiol? So there we go. Diogo Jota starts. They play tomorrow. How has he got that info? No, it's lazy FPL apparently.
Oh, did that have to come out so early, or everyone's got him anyway?
Diogo Jota starts. Wow, that is very early. All right, I'll retweet that. I trust them. To be fair, I think we didn't know that, but we highly expected that would be the case, wouldn't it? Very, very early. Oh my god, my computer is like so warm. I think it's my camera's overheating as well. I reckon it's a solid like 35, 40 degrees in here. Very, very early. But Jota starts. There we go. Well, that's nice to get that confirmation. There you go, Frosty. You can captain Jota. What is Pickle's team? She'll tweet it out. Are you going to tweet it out before the deadline?
I'll tweet it soon.
Yeah, she will tweet before the deadline. If you just search for FPL_Pickle, that is my girlfriend. She finished 1.9k last year. She will tweet out her team in a bit. Do you have a league code? Yeah, it's above my head. KNBG94. If all 7,000 of you could join that, that'd be fantastic. KNBG94. Also, make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed as well. I would really, really appreciate that. You have got under half an hour until the deadline, guys. Get your teams locked in. Yeah, so the rumours that we've had is that Ahmad starts and Jota starts. So if you've got Ahmad or Jota, you can feel pretty happy. You know you want Haaland, Ross, don't lie. I'd love Haaland. I would absolutely love Haaland, but I don't like my Haaland draft as much as my Salah one. Missed my super chat earlier. Please, I need help. I'm sorry for that. I don't know why people super chat saying I missed their super chat rather than just putting the question in again. Because now I don't know where your super chat was. And now I've got to scroll back through and I'll probably miss it again. I can't find it. Sorry. It's not come through on my end. That might be a YouTube issue. Or unless it was like 2 hours ago. Yeah, I can't see that. Sorry, mate. I do apologise. Oliver says, hi, Ross. Keep up the good work. Looking forward to watching your videos for this season. You're the best FPL creator, but pity you're a United supporter. I appreciate the support regardless. Thank you, my friend. Yeah. It is a pity. I mean, I even think it's a pity, and I'm a Man United fan, so there we go. Listen, I understand it. No one likes Man United fans. No one likes Man United fans. Right, oh God, we've got 25 minutes until FPL begins. The season begins. It's exciting. Listen, I'd love to spin the wheel, but my internet and my laptop and my everything won't cope with the spinning of the wheel. So that's going to have to go until Game Week 2, sadly. Yep. So, sorry. Do you know what? Let me pin that comment instead. Let me unpin that. Team leaks. We've got Main Road locked in without Guardiola just tweeted. Yeah, see if my voice just broke. That for me is a big, like, Main Road knows City well, and so I don't know why he's not got Guardiola. That worried me. Garnacho starts.
What does that mean then?
That means Rashford is the 9.
Oh, yeah. I don't feel like that's good for you.
I
I don't know. I just don't like Russia when he's the number 9.
What am I doing? Twitter, I wanted to check. Was that Lazy FPL again? Let me just refresh. Who said Garnacho starts? Or is it someone being a troll? Is there someone? I don't know. Team leaks. Jota starts. Ahmad starts. There we go. I can't see anything at the moment, chat, in terms of that Garnacho stuff, but I'll keep my eye on it in the next 25 minutes. I think there is a good chance Garnacho starts, by the way. Nothing reputable at the moment looking now. Thanks, Frosty. I appreciate it. Ronaldo starts. Hopefully not. You chose Salah over Haaland, crying face. Yeah, and what? Joke's on you when Haaland blanks in Game Week 2 and Salah scores. Could you imagine? I'm going to have to try not to be smug. My face is going to look so smug on my... I'm going to look so smug if that happens. No, I'm joking. I won't. If you remember last year when stuff went my way in terms of when I sold Haaland immediately, I wasn't smug. And then as soon as Haaland started smashing it, you guys were smug. So maybe I should be. Maybe if there's an opportunity for me to be smug early doors, I'll do it. FPL The Max says, welcome back. Robinson or Quansah to cover Quansah potentially missing out? Definitely Robinson. It also avoids any issues with Quansah and Quansah. Jota and João Pedro or Solanke and Ahmad? Solanke and Ahmad now, maybe? Now that we've got confirmation Ahmad starts. Maybe this is something he's going to do for the time being. Maybe Ahmad will get better minutes than I thought. This is interesting that Ahmad's starting again. I thought he might, but yeah, I'm really interested to see it, because if Garnacho's starting on the left and Rashford's through the middle and it's Ahmad on the right, then it could be that Ahmad just continues to start and he just chooses to play Rashford rather than Xerxes. I do find it weird that we just bought Xerxes and we're not willing to even give him a go, though. Didn't mean to be rude earlier. Happy to support. Oh, no, that's okay. You don't need to apologise. Solanke, Eze, Saka, or Havertz, Gibbs White, Son? Oh, mate, that's so close. Solanke, Eze, Saka for me. And please rate the rest of my team. Henderson, Valdemarsson, Porro, Saliba, Hall, Robinson, Quansah, Nkunku, Jota, Winks, Haaland, Isak. Yeah, beautiful, mate. Love it. I would go for Solanke, Eze, Saka. And sorry for not answering the first super chat. Mr. Cully Harris says, bench Lewis, Hall, 4-3-3 or Nkunku. Honestly, I know this is crazy. I'd start Lewis, Hall and bench Nkunku. I think you've got to start Hall against Southampton at home, haven't you? There's a chance for a clean sheet, a chance for attacking returns. Apparently, he was injured when he arrived. Oh, that would make more sense. But he was in the squad for the Community Shield, so he can't be that injured. Is Pope a decent keeper option? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Dubravka is a very capable backup, so there could be some rotation, but you'd expect Pope to start pretty much every game. Eze and Maniz or Solanke and ESR? God, I think I've gone back and forth on that 100 times. Eze and Maniz, but I think I've said Solanke and Smith Rowe before, so it's such a 50-50, that one. Hi, Ross. What are your thoughts on Henderson, Trent, Gabriel, Pedro Porro, Salah, Jota, Bowen, Saka, Wood, Isak, Solanke, bench of Greaves, Anderson, Ahmad? Lovely. Nice bench cover. I like the Bowen pick as a differential. Chris Wood's nice. I'll give that a 9 out of 10. Aku, I really like that. Smith Rowe and Maniz or Jota and Fraser? Well, I've gone Jota. What's wrong? Okay. Jota, I've gone Jota as like the starting position, and I've gone weaker on the bench. But I do like the idea of having Smith Rowe and Maniz, right? So maybe that's the better option. But I've gone Jota and a 4.5 forward. RJ McKnight says, thoughts on Sells, Valdemarsson, Gvardiol, Munoz, Saliba, Barco, Robinson, Gibbs White, Jota, Saka, Smith Rowe, Winks, Haaland, Isak, Solanke with 1 mil in the bank. If you've got 1 mil in the bank, I'd upgrade Winks. I don't love Smith Rowe having to start every week with only Winks as cover and Gibbs White. I would upgrade your midfield slightly with that 1 million in the bank, personally. Oh my God, my bloody computer is so overheated. 0.5 in the bank or upgrade a 4 million defender to a 4.5. I would probably upgrade the defender if you don't already have a 4.5. If you're in my position, I've got 0.5 in the bank. I've already got Robinson as cover. I don't think I also need Greaves to be a 4.5 as well. So I think it depends on your overall squad. Toby Whitaker gives me the team. What are your thoughts, Dr. Eggman? Good to see you back. Thank you very much. Again, weak bench, I'm not a massive fan of. But outside of that, it's a perfect team. I mean, is it my team? No, you've got Gordon. It's very close to my team, and you've got Saliba. But other than that, it's along the lines of what I'm going for, Toby. So I'm a big fan of it. No major issue. I wouldn't want my bench to be too weak, but I understand it. Hey, Ross, rate my squad, please. Xander Dom. Trent, Gabriel Porro, Smith Rowe, Eze, Saka, Nkunku, Haaland, Isak, Solanke, Sangare, Barco, Robinson. How do you rate the 4.5 mids? Looking for your take on Sangare. Sangare is the best 4.5 mid, so I think you've nailed that. I like Robinson. It's probably the best Haaland draft you can. I'm going to give it like a 9.5. It's honestly that good. It's just a really nice Haaland draft there. Karis Simamba has become a Rap Tier 2 member. Thank you very much, Karis. I appreciate it. Am I mad to have Bruno Fernandes? No, love him. I wouldn't transfer him out in Game Week 2, though. I'd just keep him. But yeah, you could look to move him to Foden if you want to. Start Hall or Porro, Munoz and Rashford or someone else. I don't understand the question, sorry. I'd want to start Lewis Hall, though, is at least a little bit of help there. Is there a gap between Trent and Gvardiol bigger than the gap between Eze and Smith Rowe? I think it's a very equal gap, in all honesty. Minte and Ahmad, then use the 0.5 elsewhere / bank it. Well, yeah, I'd be tempted to go Ahmad and bank the 0.5 or use it to upgrade your bench or something. Munoz, Muniz or Porro, Pedro. That's the most confusing thing. Yeah, Munoz and Muniz or Porro and João Pedro. Munoz and Muniz probably. Who's the best 5.5 ideally nailed? Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe, Brereton Diaz, Jacob Murphy, Minte, any of those options are fine. You've got less than 20 minutes until the deadline, by the way, chat. If you have not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do consider doing so. We're closing on 126,000. I'd love to hit 150,000 by the end of the season in terms of subscribers. So let's start that today. And if you've enjoyed today's stream, please do subscribe. I really appreciate it. God, I can't believe we're so close to being locked in. I think I'm pretty happy with my team, chat. Yes, of course, I could change some stuff, but I think I'm going to go with this. I do have 0.5 in the bank. I am wondering, should I just go back to Gvardiol? Let me see what you guys prefer. I'll run a poll. Start a poll. This is for my team, but obviously you can answer it just in general as well. Which do you prefer? Question mark. Porro plus 0.5 mil in the bank or Gvardiol? Everyone's just asking, why no Gvardiol? Why no Gvardiol? I don't know. I've just had a few things that have put me off, but I could go back to Gvardiol. Either way, I've got to go without Porro or Gvardiol here because I think I want Trent and an Arsenal defender. So I just have to decide in my mind. I'm so spooked about Gvardiol now you mentioned Tony and Main Road. The thing is, Frosty, they mentioned in a reply, I don't think they know anything. It's not that Gvardiol's out or going to get rotated. They've just said that they're a bit unsure about whether he'll be quite as attacking, and he is prone to rotation, as is any City player. And that's, yeah, that did put me off a little bit myself, but...
Oh my god, everything's lagging. My Twitter's lagging. I think my phone's just...
I think it's so hot in here as well. I think every device is overheating.
Yeah.
Spin the wheel. I'd love to spin the wheel, but my computer's struggling with just me being present.
I think the computer would explode.
Yeah, it's so hot in here. I do apologise. Poor Pickle's got to just sit there in the heat. Can only apologise.
It's okay, it's worse for you.
Yeah, it is, Jesus. Thoughts on Mazraoui? I don't know if he's going to start. I do think one of De Ligt or Mazraoui will probably start, but I've not heard anything, sadly. Andreas Pereira or Ahmad? There are doubts around Andreas for me, so I'll probably go Ahmad. He's going to play a little bit deeper, apparently, Andreas, and there's rumours that he might be off as well, so... Haaland, Rashford, Rodgers, or Salah, Fernandes, Muniz? I just prefer Salah, Fernandes, and Muniz, I'll be honest, I do. Can't believe you don't have Tony. What a weird player to be so shocked that I don't own. Thoughts on Kudus? I don't like the fixtures for Kudus, honestly. And also, his data last year was outrageously poor. Like some of the worst data for midfielders in the Prem. Oh my goodness. Oh, I've lost the chat. The chat's frozen completely. I'll get back there in a second. I'll just talk about any... Oh, there it is. I'll talk about anything in the meantime. Dear Lord, that is not what you want to see. Thoughts on a KDB punt? Trent and KDB with 2.5 in the bank versus Quansah and Salah with 2 in the bank. Can you not get Trent and Salah and find an extra 0.5? Because that's all you'd need, right? I'd go Trent and Salah and find an extra 0.5. I'd find it somewhere, somehow. That's my answer. But if you have to go for one of those two, I'd go for Salah and Quansah. Haaland, I did that one. What do you think of Sells, Porro? I like Sells if he starts, I guess, but we don't know if he will. Porro, Gabriel, Trent, great. Salah, Jota, Eze, Saka, Muniz, Havertz, Isak. It's a very similar team to mine. You've just got, obviously, Havertz in there instead of Solanke, and you've got Muniz in there as a 4-3-4-3, but it's relatively similar to my team. So as a result, I'm going to give it a big fat 10 out of 10. It's a nice team. I'm not biased at all. 62% of you prefer Porro and 0.5 to Gvardiol. There you go. That's all I needed. That's the confirmation bias I needed. Got both Porro and Gvardiol. Well, that's the dream, isn't it? But then you've probably not got one of Gvardiol or Trent, I suppose. So you can't have all 4 of the premium defenders that we want to own. I mean, you can, but I wouldn't advise it. A 4 at the back with 4 premium defenders is a bit overkill, you'd have to say. Garnacho's on the bench. Who's saying that? People keep telling me Garnacho starts or is on the bench, but I've not seen anything reliable. Let me know in the chat if there is a reliable source that's given us that info. But I've not seen anything. It could be that Garnacho plays on the left and Ahmad's on the right. So, yeah, I wouldn't stress yet, but maybe. ASAP AB11 says, goalkeeper is Henderson, Turner. Defense, Porro, Gvardiol, De Ligt. If De Ligt starts, I love that so much. Target, Barco. That's a very weak bench, though. Bruno, Salah, Smith Rowe, Garnacho, bench, Winks, forward, Moniz, Haaland, Isak. It's a lovely team, mate, but I'm not a big fan of how weak that bench is. So for me, I would downgrade one of your starting 11, probably in that midfield, and I would find a way to get a stronger bench. I know you've got Salah and Haaland, so it's going to be difficult. That is a super weak bench. Rate my team, Ross, please. Okay. Henderson, 4 mil backup. Okay. Trent, Quansah, Hall, Robinson, Harwood, Bellis, Saka, Eze, Jota, Nkunku, Ahmad, Haaland, Isak, Solanke. Beautiful team. I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10, mate. Yeah, really strong. No issues with that. It's just a nice standard Haaland draft, but you've got a cheeky couple of differentials in there, like Lewis, Hall, and Ahmad. It's slightly risky, but not too risky. I think you've got a nice balance. Glory, Man United asks Bruno, Winks, Quansah, or Jota, Winks, Porro. So Bruno and Quansah or Jota and Porro. Oh, sadly, it's Jota and Porro for me. But I mean, you're a Man United fan, clearly. So if you want to go for Bruno, go for Bruno. You've got less than 15 minutes till the deadline. Make sure you lock those teams in. And if you are enjoying the stream, please do drop a like. But more importantly, make sure to subscribe for future content as well. I would really appreciate it. Do you think Gabriel is that much better than Saliba? No, I think they're very, very close, but I do just about prefer Gabriel. Solanke and Winks or Moniz and Rodgers? Probably Moniz and Rodgers for me. Now that Jota is starting, captain Jota or Isak? I don't mind a Jota captain, but I still probably think Isak is a better captain than Jota. Have you seen the men news regarding early news? No? Samuel Luckhurst, is it? Let me have a look. Samuel Luckhurst. What's he tweeted? Bit of early MUFC team news. Okay. Bit of early MUFC team news. One of the early team news whispers is Ahmad starts and Garnacho is on the bench. That is obviously unconfirmed. This is an article from Manchester Evening News. Samuel Luckhurst is reliable, but he himself has said that he doesn't know how reliable those rumours are. So there are rumours going around, murmurings, that potentially Garnacho could be on the bench. We know that Ahmad does start, so that would be possible. What that would mean is Bruno's playing as the number 9 tonight, I would imagine, with Rashford on the left. So if Garnacho doesn't start, it's Rashford on the left wing and Bruno is the 9, I think. So Bruno is a serious option. De Ligt seems to be benched as well. Possible, yeah? Possible. You've got less than 10 minutes until the deadline. Make sure you lock those teams in. I assume he's just guessing Garnacho is on the bench based on Ahmad news. That would be an awful guess, though, because I've always thought that it'll be Garnacho left, Rashford as the 9, and Ahmad on the right. We've not got anything reliable around Garnacho, but Ahmad and Jota apparently do start, and I would say that is fairly reliable team news. How about Trippier? I would just avoid for now, because I think Livramento could even start in Game Week 1. Wasn't trying to scare anyone. No, thank you for providing the information. That's very reliable to have. Why no Gvardiol might be a comment that I've received 9 million times on this stream. I should just put something at the top which explain why. It's just why no Gvardiol? Why no Gvardiol? Nkunku or Bailey? Still Nkunku for me. Quick one, Gordon or Palmer? That's not a quick one because they're 3 million different. Yeah, 3 million between them. Team news and ticks. Hello, what have we got here? I prefer to not keep switching to Twitter because it breaks my computer, but you win some, you lose some, don't you? Decently owned United player not starting for those who care about FPL. Got some good fixtures for pre-deadline team news to start the season. He's plugged his Patreon. That's probably Garnacho. It's not going to be Bruno. And Ahmad, we know, starts. I think the only highly owned Man United asset is Garnacho. Piecing everything together, and I am doing a lot of guesswork here, piecing everything together, it looks like Garnacho could be on the bench for Man United tonight. That is piecing a lot of things together, though. I haven't got that confirmed anywhere. Ahmad does start, and that has been confirmed by someone with pretty good, reliable team news. Is this your final team? Yes, should be. Havertz versus Solanke. I still think Solanke just about for the 0.5 saving. Plug in the Patreon, fair play. I know, it is fair play, isn't it? I mean, I understand it. Henderson or Pickford? I still think Henderson. What do you think of Fabianski as a sub? He's fine, but you're not going to get a playing £4 million goalkeeper anywhere, I think. Sadly, as sad as that is. Paywall season. I know. He's just deleted that tweet, by the way. Oh, has he? Interesting. Probably about a highly owned asset not starting. Rogers, Ahmad, or Maniz for the bench? I mean, I need to see so much more, but Maniz is obviously the best option there for me. Ross, Arsenal defender or Porro plus 0.5? I'm too spooked by Guardiola now. Probably going Saliba. Yeah, I still prefer Arsenal defence to Porro. Yeah, probably. Saliba's fine, by the way. Saliba is definitely more nailed. Will Rashford start? Yeah, Rashford's got to start, surely. Unless he's got some sort of injury issue, which I've not heard. Rashford is nailed on to start for Man United. He's our best left winger and arguably our best forward at the moment as well, given the injuries we've got. Cap says, A, Gvardiol, Solanke and Kunku, 0.5 in the bank, versus B, Son, Hall/Robinson, rotation and Muniz. Both drafts have Jota. If I go B, then I can drop Jota to Nkunku for game week 3. Yeah, maybe B's a bit more flexible then, but I still think I prefer A, you know? No, I do like... Yeah, I'm gonna say B. Just about Cap. Why do you prefer Gabriel over Saliba? He's just got more attacking threat. Saliba's attacking threat wasn't that great last season. Saka and Maniz or Ødegaard and Solanke? I'd go Saka and Maniz, Calvin, myself. Is Garnacho starting? We still don't know. Sorry. There's nothing reliable. I've seen a few rumours which suggest that he's not, but that isn't confirmed. And there's a good chance that he does start. I hoped we would get slightly better team news on Garnacho. What we do know is what is pinned in the chat, which is Jota starts tomorrow, very early, and also Ahmed starts as well tonight. You have got just over 5 minutes until the deadline. Get those teams locked in. Make sure to subscribe as well for the best possible rank. Game week. Goalkeeper, sells Fabianski. Defense, Porro, Gabriel Anderson. Midfield of Saka, Eze, Luis Diaz and Kunku, and then Solanke, Isaac, Haaland. I don't want to put you off Luis Diaz. I just prefer Jota. But outside of that, it's a really nice team. No major issues. Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, he'll start. If Bruno Fernandes doesn't start, then something's gone horribly wrong. You're sure Rashford is locked? I can only tell you 98% sure, but if Rashford was benched, I would be extremely surprised. Because that means he's probably starting Sancho. And I can't imagine he's starting Sancho. Or he's starting Garnacho ahead of Rashford and then starting Bruno as the 9 rather than just... Rashford's got to start for me. But no, I don't know that. It's just my prediction. It's just my guess. There are multiple options we could go for in that attacking line, but... Yeah, that would be the way I would predict. No, I don't know if Garnacho's bench. Rashford's bench, people are saying. I've got no idea. I mean, let me know if there's a reliable source. But as of right now, the only stuff we have is around Ahmad. Why no Gordon? You can't fit in everyone, and I like Jota a lot. I could go for Gordon instead of Jota, but for me, Jota stands out as being a slightly higher upside pick. Rashford did nothing last season. Yeah, I know, but it's a new season. Just because someone didn't perform well in the past doesn't mean they won't perform well in the future. I'm not so sure that Rashford starts. Fair play, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm over expecting. I have no idea what's happening in terms of who's starting and who's not, sadly. You've got just over 5 minutes till the deadline. Make sure you get your teams locked in. You do not want to miss the Game Week 1 deadline where you are tinkering with your team. I need to make sure I've got a screenshot of my team for Twitter as well. Would you still get Garnacho as a super sub? If we got official news that Garnacho was benched, I absolutely wouldn't have him. You don't want to pick a player that's not starting the season. Why Greaves over Barco? I just think Greaves is safer long term, and I don't need Barco over the opening 4 or 5 fixtures. I think by the time I might need him, then Greaves has got better fixtures anyway, and he's more nailed. Associated Trip says, any issues with this team? Also, why did you drop Barco? Barco isn't nailed long term. Estepinan's back in training. They're looking to sign Kadioglu, who can play left back or right back. I just think I'd rather have Greaves. I'm not going to start Barco any week anyway. So if I'm not going to start him anytime soon, I might as well not have him. And your team looks really nice, Associated Trip. No major issues with that team at all. Stop talking on Man United. It's the upcoming game. That's what people want to ask questions around, right? FPL website is a bit flaky at the moment. Yeah, I'll get your teams locked in. This is going to be really high traffic. It could be that the website freezes in the next 3 or 4 minutes. I would absolutely try and get your teams locked in now and not wait until the last second. Smith Rowe and Moniz are apparently starting. I would be very surprised if they weren't, so that sounds about right. Why pick Cannon? Any 4.5 forward you could put in that position. I just think Cannon's probably least likely to drop in price because he's quite lowly owned and he might get some minutes. You never know. Hall or Mikalenko rotation with Robinson. I think both Hall and Mikalenko rotate really nicely with Robinson, but if I had to choose one, it would be Mikalenko. Mikalenko and Robinson for me is the best rotation. I like it a lot. There is no information around Rashford or Garnacho, only Ahmad who starts. Do you prefer Ahmad or Wood? Well, in isolation, Chris Wood, but I need to see how it affects the rest of your team, really. Start Smith Rowe or Rodgers? Smith Rowe just. Do you like Brennan Johnson? I do, but I just don't know that he's nailed now. I think Kulusevski and Johnson will rotate on that right wing. So for me, I probably have been put off a little bit. Yours truly, Du Bois, says, rate my team, please. Henderson, Trent, Barco, Porro, Saka, Nkunku, Gordon, Salah, Fernandez, Isak, Solanke, bench of João Pedro, Konsa, Taylor. I don't mind it, but I think that third defender spot is a little bit too weak for me. Barco/Konsa doesn't fill me with that much confidence. So that would be my only slight concern. But otherwise, it's a nice team. You've got just over 2 minutes till the deadline. At the time you hear my voice, it's probably less than 2 minutes. I would get those teams locked in ASAP. And don't forget to save your team. Sort out your bench order. Make sure you get your captaincy locked in. We're a little bit rusty when it comes to FPL. Don't make any last-minute mistakes for Game Week 1. Make sure your bench boost isn't activated by accident and stuff like that. I'm going to double-check that myself because you don't want to make that mistake. Make sure captain and vice-captain is all sorted. Mazraoui or Ahmad? Ahmad. But they're different players in different positions, so. Play Mikalenko or Robinson? This week, I'd probably play Mikalenko still. Will Solanke shot? I hope Solanke doesn't shot. Will Solanke starts? How sure are you? 80% sure Solanke starts. 20% unsure. Why not Leaf Davis? I don't want to spend the extra 0.5. I think Greaves is absolutely fine as an option. Oh, my internet's struggling. Sorry, chat. We can almost make it 2 minutes before the real stream starts. Exactly. And we can actually relax and hopefully my computer cools down. Bruno starts. That's not news, but fair. Tony says Bruno starts. I could have tweeted Bruno starts 3 months ago. Bruno doesn't miss a game. But yeah, Bruno starts. Great. If you want to pick him, then you get that confirmation. Why Aina over Murillo? Aina's just going to have greater goal threat, I think. Yeah, just slightly greater goal threat. Is Foden a good pick? No, not for Game Week 1. Starting Nkunku at ESR. I think that's so close. Maybe Nkunku, given the issues that City have in terms of no Walker, no Rodri, etc. I'm scared. I'm scared too. You've got less than a minute till the deadline.
Why are so many people going without Liverpool attackers?
Yeah, I know. It's because it's difficult to squeeze them in, I suppose.
Yeah.
I've got no City attack, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
FPL down. Servers down. Oh, no. This is where you sort your team out early. Gordon or Gordon? Gordon. what a question. Start double Fulham or Nkunku. I'd start Nkunku instead of one of them. Site has crashed. Servers down. Oh, no. Hopefully you guys got your team locked in. That is it. We are locked for deadline. Do not leave, by the way. I carry on streaming for at least another half an hour. This is when the best part of the stream starts. So don't leave. Stay around. I'm going to carry on streaming. But that is it.
I'm excited.
You saved me. My bench boost was activated. Oh, my Lord. Thank God I said that then. Jesus. Wow. Good luck.
We made it.
That is crazy. Do not leave. The stream will continue. Although my internet's struggling.
Everything was lagging.
Oh my God, I think it's the heat.
I tried to reply to everyone on Twitter, but I realised it was getting too confusing.
Yeah. Right, I need to tweet out my team. I'm happy with it. I don't know who I started. Why did they change the deadline to 6:28? They didn't. It probably just froze. The server just gave up. Wow. Tweet your team. I am doing exactly that. Don't you worry. Oh, wow, chat. What a deadline stream, eh? Yeah, do stick around. I'll carry on streaming. If you just want to kick back and relax before the Man United team sheet comes out, let's do it. Wow. Mental. I feel like I should have spent that 0.5, but at the same time, I'm pretty happy with my team, so.
Oh, Frosty Captain Jota. What a legend.
Frosty Captain Jota. Good man, Frosty.
What a
Following
legend.
through.
I respect it so highly.
Hopefully he assists a Salah hat-trick. 3 assists for Jota. You'd take that, wouldn't you, Frosty? 3 assists for Jota, 3 goals for Salah. Locked and loaded. Best part of the stream. Let's do this. We're back. I love it. How did the stream hold up, chat, throughout that? Because it looked okay on my end, but it was just lagging a little bit. Hopefully the audio was clear throughout. You'll have to let me know how it went. Because obviously I can't really see what it's like on your end, but hopefully the internet wasn't too awful. Minte Army, rise up. I'm jealous of people that chose Minte, I'm not going to lie. Can't believe I left money in the bank. As if. I've been spending the whole pre-season. Was really laggy on the cam. Audio was fine. Oh, that's not good.
Oh, that's a shame.
Maybe that's why views weren't perfection, but that's okay. Laggy from time to time, but otherwise good. Decent. Bits of lag, but audio was fine. Okay, cool, thanks. That actually wasn't my internet. I think it was just, I think everything is too hot in this room. Hopefully it cools down soon. Jesus, it's so warm. New camera this year. It's not the camera's not the issue, I don't think. Because my whole computer, every time I clicked on anything, was struggling. I live in student accommodation and it's absolutely boiling hot. So I think that's the issue. I'm glad the audio was perfect. That's good. That's the main thing. You can hear me. Finally came over to Team Salah. Couldn't make Haaland team work for me. Yes, join the dark side. That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. Went Porro over Guardiola as well. Yes, I'm really scared Guardiola's going to score like 15 goals in Game Week 2, but here we go. Time to use that YouTube money to buy a MacBook Pro and portable AC unit. I've got a Mac Mini, which is the same. It's still powerful. I need an AC unit that isn't loud. I absolutely need AC for this room. It's awful. Student accommodation, indeed. Student of what? I'm doing a PhD in sport psych. Sounds like CPU lag. Yeah, I think my computer overheated. Honestly. Oh, I'm tired. What is Pickle's team? Can bring it up.
It's been the same for like 5 days.
Guys, you should drop FPL Pickle a follow. She'd make her really happy.
I try and reply to everyone.
She's actually like tweeting a lot now. So FPL Pickle's my girlfriend. She's over there. Are you gonna? What's the likelihood of you coming on stream today? Quite unlikely.
I've overheated.
Shit. Okay.
Rotted since.
Oh, you're almost at 8,000 followers. Oh, guys.
Yeah.
As a present for me, but also for Pickle, can we get Pickle to 8,000 followers? She's at 7,911. So only 99. That's not good math. 89 of you need to. I'll just put her thing in the chat. Give her a follow. She finished 1.9k last year.
Oh, you're very sweet. Thank you.
1.9k, and when I say I swear, all of her own decisions. In fact, well, that's proof because my highest ever finished is 10k.
Also, our teams are different this year, so you can compare both of our teams.
Our teams are always our teams have always been different. You're never close to me, which is annoying because your team always does better. But hey ho. Yeah, go drop her a follow. Followed. Legends. Frosty unfollowed.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Where's my gifted membership? What do you mean? Are you expecting me to gift you a membership? Is that what's happening here? Okay, I'll go follow. Thanks, guys. I make her very happy. Oh, no, computer. Don't give up on me now. Already following. Thank you, FPL Cats. Great to see you back. Oh, hello, Mum. Mum's in the chat.
Aww.
If anyone saw, oh my God, if you haven't seen, I mean, everyone's probably seen, but my mum and I were on TV celebrating the Man United goal. It was so funny. So Manchester United, obviously, because I'm partnering with them this season, they got us tickets to, we we were on TV quite a lot. There was like loads of, what are you saying? Oh, Jesus.
Oh, because, I don't know, I gained a lot of followers.
Okay, that's good. It worked. We were on TV, look.
You're so cute. I remember when you first popped up, I was like, oh my God.
That's me and my mum celebrating at the game. It was amazing. Didn't expect it, but yeah, it's funny. It was, yeah, my mum and I were just there, and like this guy just sat in front of us with this big camera and was just pointing it at my face. And my mum was like, "What is that?" Because it didn't look like a camera. I was like, "I think it's a camera." And he just didn't move off us for like 30, 40 minutes. And then obviously, yeah, we were on TV. You didn't actually show Pickle's team. Oh, my bad.
Thanks, Ross.
Oh, no, that's not your team. That was your team from last year. Yeah, like 1.9k. Can you imagine finishing 1 point? I can't. I'll give your team a little retweet as well. Got to support the future wifey. Right, there's the team. Roast it. I mean, it's annoyingly just really good, isn't it? So the only difference between our teams... Oh my God, is there 2 players? Smith Rowe and Haaland versus Solanke and Salah. Is that it? And captain?
Well, yeah, because you have Guardiola. And
Yeah, so it's 2 players. Oh my God, I prefer your 2 players.
Oh, no, I prefer yours.
So I've got Salah captain plus Solanke and Salah. And she's got Isak captain, but she has Haaland and Smith Rowe. It's very tight. I don't think there's a massive... In Game Week 2, I'm expecting you to obviously smash it.
Why is everyone shocked about me being a Villa fan?
Yeah, she's a brummy. Future wifey, is there something you forgot to tell us? Not yet. Already following Pickle. So great to see you and hear you. It goes back. Oh, we love you. The little love heart. Little Gareth Bale love heart. I knew I saw you at that game on TV. Yeah, it was so funny. So many people were messaging like, "I've just seen you, Raptor." Oh, my camera's completely gone now. Let me reset that. Guy. Gave Rashi 1 chance over in Kunku if he flops by. Oh, I respect it. I respect it. Her team is brilliant. Her team's amazing. I've only got 2 players different, so can we say the same nice things about me?
Mine's been... The back line's been locked for days. Horror's been locked for days. Also, it's like all these players that are now doubts I never even thought about, so I'm kind of happy.
Yeah, this is true.
Like Joao Pedro. Well, I mean, I did consider Guardiola, obviously.
She's hit 8.1k. Oh,
Yeah.
dear Lord, you've just gained like 200 or 300 followers then.
I know. I tweeted
Wow.
about it.
You lot are absolute legends.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Aren't you kind? Oh. She's gonna hit 10k soon. She's gonna have a bigger YouTube channel than me. Cameraman was a fan. I actually think he was, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
End of season, what order do the 3 men finish? I think it'll probably be similar to last season. Harry will finish above Oscar and I, and Oscar and I will be relatively set. Harry's just good at FPL, isn't he? Let's be real. Copying allegations. No, I'm not copying her. Don't start that. Or are you saying she's copying me? I'm probably more likely to copy her in all honesty. I've got Moniz for the game tonight. It is a bit of a shame I don't have any United players, but
Yeah, I feel like that about Villa. But...
I kind of feel like I need to put my FPL rank history and career first before picking Man United players, to be honest. God, I tell you what, I need a shower.
Boiling, oh my lord.
Yeah, I really need a shower. Wild. Buy a real PC and a good cam with your Manchester United sponsor money. Never. I'd rather watch FPL Pickle YouTube channel than follow her on Twitter. There we go. Get a YouTube channel started. You better be streaming when you propose. We're part of this as well. Oh, well, I won't stream when we propose, but I'll stream after.
That's very sweet.
Not to you. What are you making those say?
Post-proposal stream.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be on camera though, whenever that happens.
How devastated will you be if Robinson gets an assist? Not overly, because no one's really likely to start him this week, I don't think. Most people have him on the bench.
Who? Sorry?
Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
Missed my super chat. Sorry, Ben. My computer was lagging and all sorts going on. Was it pre-deadline super chat? Well, honestly, I wish you could see my computer. I'm scrolling and then like 10 minutes later it scrolls. It's just too hot. What is the temperature today?
It is currently...
It's 20 degrees.
Is that what it says?
It's not.
Yeah,
It's so hot in this room.
The humidity's 56.
Shower stream. That's sus. Oh, see it, Ben. Thank you. Ben said, appreciate the tips video with psychology tidbits. Knowing about diversification bias helped me make my team. Good luck for this season, boss man. You are so welcome. I'm planning... oh, by the way, if you're watching right now and you've not checked out FPL Therapy, please do consider doing so. Let me just show you. I'm planning on doing a psychology episode at some point, like an hour and a half psychology thing. So if you want to do that, that would be great. Let me bring that over here. Can you see that? How much of that can you see? I've got a new podcast, if you've not seen, called FPL Therapy. And my first episode was with FPL Harry. The next episode is going to be with, spoiler alert, I'm not tweeting this, so only you guys will know. It's with Praz, who everyone loves anyway. Praz is amazing. But you can listen to it on Spotify or Apple, or you can subscribe on YouTube. The support has been overwhelming. But yeah, there's going to be a psychology video coming up. There's little shorts if you prefer it that way as well. You don't want to watch the long form stuff. But yeah, I mean, I could actually just show you. I'll probably mute it just so that... Imagine I get copyright strike for my own stuff. But we're in the studio. It's pretty good. And I've really enjoyed the first couple of episodes. So if you're interested, just at FPL Therapy on everything. Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. I might start putting it on other podcast platforms, but I did a poll, and something like 91% of people listen on Spotify or Apple. So at the moment, it's on there plus YouTube. But yeah, please do consider checking it out. I really appreciate that. Oh, there's the wheel. I got the wheel ready, but honestly, my computer would not be able to cope right now. Right, back to the chat. Back to the chat we go. Loved the first 2 episodes, Kieran. Praz will be a great guest. Oh, thank you.
It is. It's so good.
I'm spoiling it. That'd be so good. Yeah, Praz is going to be amazing as a guest. I'm really excited. To be honest, I might just listen to Praz talk. I probably won't say much. He's one of those guys where I just want to listen to what he has to say. What's that?
I was just saying, what's his team? I need to see.
What, Praz? Yeah. Praz was going with Haaland and Salah. If he's stuck with it, it's different, and I'm interested to hear it. Yeah.
Very nice.
Havertz plus 2 million versus Saka. Well, it's a bit late now, but I'd say Saka still. When is Pickle making her FPL Therapy debut? If you can't already tell, she's a bit low-key, so...
Maybe one day. I just don't think I'm good enough at talking to...
Stormzy's just sent a voice note on the chat. I'll ask if it's PG. Is this PG to listen to on stream? Oh god, I can only imagine that there's all sorts of insults for everyone there.
I'd love to see his team. I'm very curious to see what.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Stormzy's team as well. He's been so busy with his like backbone and all sorts touring around. So Stormzy said, "I forgot about the stream. Let me jump on now."
Oh, legend.
I'll wait for him to jump on, and then I'm gonna tell him. Can't forget about the stream. That's outrageous. That's outrageous behavior. Stormzy episode 4. Potentially. I just need to get the man when he's... the Sharky said, I'm not sure if it's PG. I want to... I can just only imagine he's insulting HP. I want to get Stormzy on the podcast, but Stormzy is probably the busiest man to ever exist. So when he's free and available, I will get him on the podcast, I have no doubt. But yeah, locking down a man like that isn't easy. The guest for FPL Therapy should be called Patience. I like that. I like that a lot. I feel like I shouldn't play that out loud. I'll listen to that after the stream. Sounds like it could be crazy. What is wrong with his backbone? If you've not listened to Backbone, by the way, dear Lord. I was just doing this throughout. You know, it was just filth from the. I heard it on TikTok straight away, and I was like, that's going to be an absolutely outrageous song for the summer as well. Just about in time for the summer. You know Stormzy, WTF. Stormzy is... Yeah, I do know Stormzy. Quite well now, actually. Stormzy's the nicest man I've ever met. Genuinely. Such a nice guy. Oh, God, chat, I'm melting in my chair. Like, really melting over here. It's such a tune. Chasing Status of Stormzy is not the link-up you expect, is it? Why is nobody discussing Areola? Don't know. Will Pickle get on the podcast if she has a paper bag over it? I think she'll do it. She just needs to build up the confidence. She won't have a paper bag. She'll have her face out.
I need to do some revision, you know?
Yeah, you need to prep.
Yeah, because I'll end up saying silly things.
Is the camera freezing from time to time? Yeah, my computer's overheating. If it's that hot, take your top off. I've actually lost a bit of weight recently. Still got a little bit of boobage, but...
We're very late on the cut.
Yeah, my shoulders are starting to become more like actual defined shoulders now rather than just big blobs. I think I've...
Blobs.
Lineups are out. Oh, yeah. Are they? No, they're not. Who's tweeted the lineups? I thought it was at 8, the game.
Yeah, it is.
What's your mini league code? It's above my head. Look, KNBG94. I went with Leno. I'm scared. Or if you get a clean sheet tonight, I'll be crying.
Oh, I'd love to have Leno. I have him in my draft team.
Who's tweeted the lineups? Because Bruno false 9, Rashford left, Ahmad right. It's almost as if someone said that would be the case. They are out 75 minutes before this season. Oh. How did I miss that?
Wait, is the Fulham one out?
Yeah, how did I miss that? I honestly didn't know that was the case this season.
Well, Smith Rowe's in it, thank God.
Yeah, as you'd imagine. Onana, Mazraoui. Okay, so it is Mazraoui starting and Delict on the bench. I thought it could be the other way around. Maguire, Martinez, Dallo. I will be interested if it's Mazraoui or Dallo at left back. What do you think? I think it could be Mazraoui at left back, but the way that this is... Oh, no, this is done in number order. Yeah, I've got a feeling it could be Dallo right back, Mazraoui... don't know. Mount... Oh, please have a good game, Mount. Jesus, we need it. Mason Mount, Fernandez, Rashford, Ahmad, Casemiro, Mainu. It's a nice team. It's not the strongest. I'd like to see Garnacho in there, but if you've got Bruno, you could genuinely be feasting tonight. Like,
Yeah,
absolutely
I'm a
feasting.
little bit nervous.
Yeah, I wish I had Bruno. Yeah, you could be feasting tonight.
Fulham's lineup looks good though. I'm looking
Yeah, I'll have a look now.
It's pretty strong.
You can play them. Okay, shall I... Yeah, that voice note is PG. Okay. Okay, we'll listen to the voice note then. This is when we find out it's absolutely not at all PG, but... Here we go.
Well. The time is upon us, isn't it?
It's so ominous every time.
Excuse my absence. Or should I say excuse my silence? Well,
Me.
there's another season of scintillating action.
Scintillate, what a word.
I'll put my predictions, but it's not too far off last season. I'm sure it'll be me and Raptor top 2. Chunks and Sharky floating somewhere under that. And that 5th spot is reserved for one man only.
Oh, boy, hopefully.
Even if you try to be 5th, that the universe won't allow it. Even if I try that, say if I try and say, no, fuck this, I'm gonna be 5th. The universe say, nah. The universe will grab me by the collar and say, don't be fucking stupid. You know who's 5th. You know who's fucking 5th. You know who's 5th, fam. Fucking Harry Panera's fucking.
Oh, God. I love that that's PG. Right, what's Sharky saying?
All I'm saying is, this year, it's not a joke, man. This year's not a joke. I'm in some serious leagues, but this league is probably the most serious. I need to finish above Raptor. That is my aim. That is my goal. Stormzy,
Not going to happen.
hold 3rd this year. Trunk can be 4th, 5th. We know who 5th is going to be. But this year I'm serious,
Harry
boys.
Panero just gets so much heat in this chat. Oh, bless him. I hope you enjoyed that. Fulham lineup. Okay, Robinson starts, Smith Rowe starts. Adama Traore could be he's 5 million, Adama Traore. Iwobi just is the forgotten man at 5.5, and then Maniz at 6. So, oh, poor Harry Panero. Has Harry Panero even created a team? I don't even know. I wonder how long it will take the game to update. Do you reckon it's going to be there for like 14 hours trying to update? My Fitbit is shouting at me to move. It's like you have not moved in 3 hours.
Lazy.
Yeah, I know. Stormzy have 5th all wrapped up. Nah, Stormzy's actually... Stormzy and Chunks are seriously good at FPL. Stormzy almost beat me last year and I finished 29k. It was only like 10, 15 points behind. Demonetization to Raptors live stream. There we land. Yeah, I know. It's all right. Stormzy can make up the money for me. Hi, Ross. Last season, I won 80k for a paid league. 80k? What is INR? Is that? I assume that INR currency. INR currency. I want to know how much this is to GBP. Okay. Oh, it's Indian rupees. Okay. How much is 80,000 Indian rupees? £737. So you won £737 for a paid league by copying my team for the entire season. Okay, I shouldn't encourage this. I have entered 5 more paid leagues, so you better do well this season. Thank you. I feel like that's like a threat. But I will try my best. I would obviously like to do well myself. So just give Stormzy Pickle's number if you need some good advice. No, you should start charging for your advice.
No. I'm a humble being.
Cool. You can reply to super chats now. That's cool.
Oh, what, like directly? Or...
Yeah, someone just replied to one of the super chats.
Oh, that's cool. I think I saw that earlier, but didn't know what it was.
Not going to Fest Raptor. I'm not, because I obviously stream in Nottingham, and by the time I'd get back, it'd be in like 2 hours. Yeah, I'm not going to. If they do, I wish they would do Fest on like a Saturday. You know? Fabrizio Romano tweeted. What did he tweet? Let's have a look. What a lovely first stream back, by the way, guys. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for being here. Not that I'm leaving right now, but I just wanted to say thank you for being here. Jadon Sancho, not in the squad for Manchester United tonight. His future remains open ahead of the final 2 weeks of summer window, as reported today. Okay, yeah, he's done then. If he's not in the squad, he's done.
Wait, I'm sorry, I'm lost.
Sancho's not in the squad.
Oh, okay.
I thought he was going to get given another chance, but maybe that was just to be able to sell him. But yeah, he's done if he's not in the squad. Cool. Well, not cool, not great, but hopefully we get some good money. Smith Rowe debut, do you reckon 2 or 3 goals? I'm going to go for 1 or 2 points. What's Fest? There's an event in London tonight called Fantasy Football Fest where a lot of the managers that live in London will be. It's always based in London, which is a bit of a shame. And also it's on the deadline of Game Week 1 every year. And if you stream and you're not streaming in London, then it's so difficult to get there. Check the lineups, please. We've already checked the lineups. If I supported United, not going to lie. I just want it to go either way. I want either Sancho to come back and be good or to just get rid of him. I don't like this in-between stuff. It's so up in the air. Oh, God. That might be my sign. Oh, no. Completely dropped off.
No.
Oh, we're back. Hello. You might have been able to hear my voice throughout, but my face definitely would have been. I can't believe it held up for 3 hours. You know what? I'm just delighted. This made my evening that the internet didn't give up on me. London is stinky. We need some Brum events. I agree. I will try and host something in the Midlands at some point, whether that be in Birmingham or Nottingham.
Yes, please.
We could maybe host a meetup in Birmingham.
I'd love that.
Where would you prefer? Let me ask the people here. I'm going to run a poll. Let me end this poll.
This is true, 'cause it's always Manchester or London.
Start a poll.
We need an in-between.
Where would you prefer to attend an FPL meetup? Nottingham, Birmingham, either, would attend both, neither, too far, or wouldn't want to. Wouldn't want to. Okay. I didn't have enough letters, so I've had to make that. Where would you prefer to attend an FPL meetup? Nottingham, Birmingham, either would attend both, or neither. Obviously, if you live in like Canada, US, somewhere in Africa, then obviously you can put neither. And I'm sorry, but just anyone that does have the ability to come to the Midlands, would you prefer Nottingham or Birmingham? I'm in Australia, Miami, Australia. Yeah, I would love to do it in those places, probably more than Nottingham and Birmingham, but as long as I can touch Ross's big bald head. Do you know what? All Pickle says constantly is how big my head is.
What?
Like, not metaphorically, you say physically I have a large head.
You said, well, I mean, it's
You
true.
always look at my head and say, what a big egg.
It is a big head, but that's okay.
Game was updated already.
There's a lot of brain in there.
The thing is, guys, Game Week 2 doesn't exist for me, all right? Listen, Game Week 2 doesn't exist. What is Game Week 2? We're just going to skip straight to Game Week 3. Why don't you want Africans going, right, let's start this again. anyone that can't attend because they live in a different country, such as the US, Canada, or Africa, then obviously you're probably very unlikely to attend. If you want to get a flight out, please do. I mean, if someone attends one of the meetups and they have to get a flight, I will buy your drinks for the night. How about that? Unless you're flying from like Manchester, then no, I'm not. If you're flying from a different country. Yeah, no, Game Week 2 doesn't exist. Sorry, I'm just going to skip straight to Game Week 3. Ross, your head isn't big. Normal caps fit. I have to buy extra large hats. It just about fits, Frosty, I'm being honest. Does anyone want to see the egg? There you go.
Sweaty egg.
That is, when I say sweaty, I mean that is a sweaty egg. But there you go. You can have a. Please no. Everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, my eyes. Don't be like that.
My eyes. That's SpongeBob. Oh, that's good.
Poor Andy FPL got Fernandez and now he covers the defense. What? Fernandez is playing as the number 9. What are you on about? If Andy got Fernandez, it's a great pick.
I guess it's like he'll lose a clean sheet point if they have it in the first place.
What if I fly from Wales? No, that doesn't count because you could drive instead. No. I don't want people trying to get around this. I mean, if you're coming from if you're doing a decent flight, then what was I doing? Oh, updating the game. Oh, it's almost as if I should have chosen someone that had a better captaincy option in game 2. Oh, dear Lord, I'm already in pain. I don't know if I'm going to start Robinson or Gabriel. And I know that sounds like a stupid thing to say, but Robinson's got Leicester at home. Gabriel's got Villa away. So that will be a decision for me. Captaincy is going to be between... It's going to be Salah. I'll captain Salah. Honestly, really nice team. No, I don't have Haaland. And yes, my season will be over. But if you look past that, it's a nice team. I'm a fan of it. Good luck on the season, Ross. Thank you, Tafen. I appreciate your support throughout the last year or so, mate. It means a lot to me. That is a 5 head. Your head is radiating. God damn. Right, that's why I'm putting it back away then. This is why I don't get it out. This is what I get instead. It is looking very pale, isn't it? It's a very pasty looking egg. Does the Netherlands count? That is a very short flight. I lived. Well, I kind of lived. I lived in Amsterdam for about 5 weeks, and that was a short flight. It literally, we went up, and then we went down. It was the shortest flight. Garnacho is benched. Yes, Garnacho is benched. We've got Rashford on the left, Ahmad on the right, and then Fernandez is the number 9. I think you have a great team. I think there's not much between Haaland and Salah drafts. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. Doesn't Kunku even start? I hope so. Did you get bored of this season? I literally shaved my head like 2 hours ago, which is why it looks more bald. Yes. So, no, I didn't get bored. Well, I probably did get bored, to be fair. Probably I'm losing follicles every day. Are you doing Fantasy Challenge? No, sorry. It's dead. I'm so sorry. It's just not for me. I know. I should try and hype it up and stuff, but it's not for me, Fantasy Challenge. I'm really sorry. Not for my... By the way, don't worry, this is going to be like a 30-second plug, but if you've not yet checked out Fantasy United, you've missed the deadline for the first game week, but you can still join the league. And in August, at the end of August, 4 random people in my league will be drawn to win signed jerseys and VIP Premier League football tickets. So even if it's just for the chance to win those prizes, I would definitely join this league. And you're going to have a fairly good chance. There's only about 200 people in the league. So 4 people out of about 200 are going to win signed United jerseys and VIP Premier League football tickets. By the way, the VIP Premier League football tickets are in an insane box. Like, it's really nice. So yeah, I would give it a go, especially if you're a Man United fan. Definitely worth considering. Right, guys, that is 7. And considering we started at 4, that is 3 hours. And we started a bit early, so it's over 3 hours. So thank you very much for being with me on the first deadline stream. I appreciate you more than you possibly know. It's so good to be back, and I'm glad that my computer semi-held up. And yeah, hopefully only moving forward from here, and hopefully a decent first game week. I just need Salah to outscore Isak and Haaland to blank. Is that too much to ask? Yes, but hopefully it happens. Hopefully you have a fantastic week. And there will be a transfer plans video out on Sunday evening. So do keep your eyes peeled for that video on Sunday. And then the regular content throughout the week. FPL Therapy episode on the Tuesday. Game week preview on the Wednesday. Team selection on a Thursday. Deadline decisions on Friday. And then the stream on Saturday. So much content next week. Keep your eyes peeled. Have a wonderful week.